send you so that won't go live until Friday. I got my email that they're considering it. I'm sure. I think it's. But he's almost at a 4. Plus he's got an IEP.
You can take ACT to get in.
Yeah. He thinks too much, so it's harder for him. He got like 1,000.
Oh, you're
But
taking
he's like,
SAT.
yeah, SAT. But he's super smart. But it takes him.
Sure. Process through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they look for missing.
Sure.
But they came in, they didn't come in. My daughter going to Stanford, it's going to be trouble.
Wow.
I wanted MSU's on the GI Bills.
Yeah, my daughter's a sophomore at MSU right now, and then Bob's going into the Army next year. He'll leave.
Let's go to basic down in South Carolina. It's like, you're going to want to gain some weight. You're going to swim around stuff in the summer down there. Not only it's the summer in South Carolina, but you're also in basic training.
Oh, man. I love San Diego. Oh, Stampedes, by the way. That was that bar in Temecula we went to. Yeah. We went to In Cahoots a lot, too, right in San Diego, but because he lived right there. But, yeah, Stampedes. No, the last time I was there, Petco wasn't there. It was still Qualcomm. We went on 80s night and got just blitzed and took our shirts off trying to get on the jumbo screen. It didn't work.
Really?
You know? I know.
I'd love to go, but nobody does manage
Yeah, my kid loves Rockies though. Actually, taking my Phoenix to spring break, graduation trip. We're going to schedule this week. Rockies open up at Arizona while we're down there opening day. So we're going to take for that instead.
I've eaten in there. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Just on it. First time we're trying it. Yeah, I've eaten it too.
Yeah. I think we're going to try to go at least one day just to experience it, and then obviously opening day. But oh, cool. Well, here's that answer about Tucker. All right, thanks, man. Talk to you later. You can come in anytime and listen. So. So he kind of disagreed with you.
I'm not 8:15 right now. Disagree.
sure I welcome our viewers listening to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Definitely.
Carroll Athletics YouTube.
That works. That's all I need.
Yes, they are. 74. Yeah. 65. 73. What does R2 stand for? R2 stand for 51.
Actually, like looking at these.
Now for today's opening prayer, Monsignor O'Neill.
I know, like,
15.
no, tight end.
So yours. 88.
QB's quarterback.
22 is quarterback. Awesome. 22.
Forgive us of the smoke and protect those in danger of fire. We ask your blessing on those who fight these fires and the communities that are in danger because of them. We ask your blessing upon us all, in heart and mind, soul and spirit. We may benefit from the graces that you rain down, especially those of faith, hope, and charity. Bless this community. Make those who participate be under that constant help and protection. Give them strength. Give them witness. Give them the abilities that you have given to be used to the best of their care. And may we always be blessed. In the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. We ask that you remain standing for the singing of our national anthem. Today's anthem is being performed by Aaron Wright. Aaron is a junior international relations major from Anchorage, Alaska, a member of Carroll's ROTC program, and a member of the Fighting Saints cheer squad. Thank you, Aaron. Please welcome today's officials for our opening coin toss.
Jason Walker, Greg Upham. It is the Saints. It's the Lights on ESPN Radio. We welcome our listeners watching along on the Carroll Athletics YouTube channel for the first time this season as well. And Greg Upham, give me your final thoughts as they head out for coin toss here.
Well, yeah, my mic's turned up. That always helps. You know, as I said earlier in the broadcast, Jason, I think they need to find a star. They need to find a spark plug athletically, you know, from their athletes. That's something that's going to propel this momentum and create an expectation or an anticipation that something great's going to happen. They're lacking emotional energy. I saw it last year, up and down. I saw it this year. Last week, it was probably as low as I've ever seen it. So that has. They have to find the spark and the excitement, of the game of football, because you can't. Doesn't work. I mean, that's why millions of people watch it and millions of people play it. It's an emotional game, and so they somehow have to find that emotion. And then the other big thing is they have to find the consistency. They have to find, if they're going to play well on one drive, then the defense has to back that up. If the offense is going to score, then the defense has to hold them, and then they have to enjoy that. So I really look. I look to find someone who's going to be a star.
Couple of game notes quickly. Injury-wise, Bo Meyer obviously out for the season with a torn bicep. You got Isaiah King back in uniform. Ryan Walsh in uniform. He was rumored to be a game-time decision. He's in uniform and will play, and it'll be nice to see how many snaps Isaiah King can get back out there as well. But you're missing a couple of big ones. Troy Arnson obviously out again, nursing a leg, and Connor Phone not in the lineup today either.
Yeah, Connor Phone obviously is that. And if they can't get it, they can't get it. So it'd be kind of fun to see, where Northern's at. You know, Aaron Christensen in his third year, he's 1-22, but they have been getting better and better and better. And where their offensive stats are, this is a legitimate offense because they've played what I would consider two pretty good defenses coming in.
Carroll won the toss, elected to receive, so it'll be Shane Sipes and Ryan Arnson back deep, and they will await the kick of Christian Williams. That's not right. That is Tommy Langley, I beg your pardon, the senior out of Tracy, California. The Saints in their home purples with the gold helmets and going back to the black numbers with the gold trim, and that is a very short kick. In fact, it's going to hit at the 9, bounce right into Sipes' hands. He will take off, skips a tackle. He's across the 25 to the 30 and up ahead to the 38-yard line. And once again, that's been the best offense for Carroll all year, has been their kick returns.
Yeah, their kick returns have been outstanding. That's about a 28-yard return. I think they're averaging, Jason, right at 25 yards, which is huge. So a big return for them, and I'm sure we'll see some great play out of Tanner this week. It's cooler, whatever it was shake it off and get after it.
Northern in their road whites with the maroon helmet with a big yellow N on the sides, and the Saints open up, ball on the far right hash mark, moving right to left here at Nelson Stadium. Gustafson from the gun. He'll send Walsh in motion and hand it off to Major Ali, and Ali off right tackle gets just across the 40 to about the 41-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 7 coming up for the Saints. You talk about that Northern defense. There's some big boys up front. They run a 3-4. Josh Wright at 240, Elijah Dennison at 255, and the tackle Mitchell Harmon, another end actually, at 245 as well.
Yeah, they're there. They're
big.
Size. Yeah, they are.
Gustafson, 2nd down and 7, just underway here, first quarter at Nelson Stadium. Sends a receiver in motion, 2 now to the left. Gustafson back to pass. That ball might have been tipped, intended for Eric Dawson out on the right flat towards the sideline, and it's incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 10, and it did look like it was tipped. But again, I talked to Nick Howlett about what you had mentioned a lot last week. If Gustafson was hurt or whatnot, it's just his throwing style. And Coach Howlett said no, he was fine. He likes to 3-quarter sidearm it sometimes, and that's what you saw a lot of last week. So 3rd and 7 coming up. Big play for Carroll on the first drive of the football game. 3 receivers now split out wide to the near side left. 1 receiver top side right. Gustafson, pressure comes. He avoids the sack, and he'll skip up ahead to just across the line of scrimmage. A flag comes in late. Probably a hold coming up. It'll be 4th down for Carroll. But how about that pressure from Steven Fernandez, a linebacker, senior from Apopka, Florida.
Yeah, he came late and right off Barnett's offensive tackle side, and Dave looked right down inside, didn't see that pressure coming on the outside, and Tanner saw that pressure coming from his blind side. Good thing he did, too, because the blitzer came untouched and forced that play. So a little mental mistake there.
Dylan Torgerson on to punt, one of the best in the nation, averaging over 43 yards per punt, a long of 50 on the season. So the Saints with 3 and out, and Torgy with a very nice high booming punt. And that'll send Marvin Williams back trailing inside of his own 15. Great punt by Torgy.
Yeah, he got that to spiral and then turn over, Jason, and that's hard to do. But we're seeing one of the better punters in the country.
So the Saints will go on defense for the first time, and Mike Van Diest talked about this last week, Greg, at the Saints Sports Zone at the Staggering Ox, but they gave up over 500 yards of offense to Rocky, but 5 plays accounted for 240 yards, a 70-yard run, a 69-yard play. So that perimeter defense for the Saints, and they start out in the 3-4. Tommy Wilson hands it off. Breaking the tackle was Trey Blanchard, the leading rusher for the Lights. He was hit behind the line of scrimmage, kind of juked and jived his way out of it. And here comes that hurry-up offense right off the bat for Wilson. Handoff again, Blanchard, waiting for a hole, and this time he's stuck at the 20, and a flag comes in late.
That really, Jason, should have been illegal procedure. The offensive line was moving when they were trying to get that hurry-up offense, but there was no call.
Holding on the Lights, so back him up. It'll be 2nd and 13. 13-16 to play here, opening quarter, no score. Saints had a 3 and out, and the Lights now with their first possession. With that hurry-up offense, not a whole lot of time to talk about the play that just happened.
No, there isn't.
They get to the line in a hurry. Back it up to the 10-yard line. It is 2nd and 13. Wilson will go from the gun. Transfer from Fresno, California, back to pass. Looks to the far sideline, has his receiver wide open for a first down. That's Marvin Williams, the leading receiver, a freshman from Puyallup, Washington. He came in with 11 catches for 198 yards and 3 scores. And he's over 200 yards now in the season, but he was left open.
He was. It was just a flag route again, and flag routes have been giving Carroll a little bit of a problem, and that safety gets in a chase, and there's no corner underneath to help, and just drops it in the bucket.
1st and 10, 4 wide receivers. Fake the handoff to Blanchard, pass it out near side. Now Williams gets across the 30 and tackled out of bounds at the 35-yard line, so it'll be 2nd down and short coming up for the Lights. Call it 2nd down and 2. 8-yard play.
Parker Bernhardt, the outside linebacker that chased that kind of that bubble screen out there and got into a situation where he couldn't get it stopped. All he could do was just get it slowed down. So we see that hurry-up offense again, Jason.
2nd and 3, the handoff to Blanchard. Skips through, kind of tripped over one of his offensive linemen's feet and dives ahead. He's very close to a first down. They're going to mark him just shy. So it'll be 3rd and about a half a yard. And quickly the Lights line up. Big package up front. Wilson takes the quarterback sneak, busts through a tackle, and then brought down from behind by McBride Galt at the 44-yard line.
Interesting offensive set there, Jason. I haven't seen it before. It was just a quick hurry-up, foot-to-foot wedge front with there were 3 running backs counting the quarterback, so 4 in the backfield that were all stacked up. They just ran it straight ahead. It wasn't anything fancy, just a mass of 11 people going forward.
1st and 10 for the Lights, just under 12 minutes to play. Wilson back to pass, lobs it out to the sideline, and it's intercepted. Not sure who came down with it, but it was intercepted by the Saints.
I think it's Drew Melton.
He had great position on the inside hip of the receiver. Ball maybe a little overthrown. Williams went up over top. I didn't know who came down with it because they were fighting for it, but the Saints come away with it at their own 30-yard line.
Now you see the excitement on the sidelines, and that's what they've been lacking. So great turnover, great play, and that was a tough interception too. He turned and ran and looked right back at the right time, and there was the interception. So
Drew Melton. And we mentioned the Saints last week had purple jerseys with white numbers. They've gone back to the purple with the black, which is hard to read on that far sideline. especially if you're as old as Greg. 1st and 10, 11:45 to go. Handoff, Walsh comes to the left side, breaks through a couple of tackles, drags a couple tacklers with them up across the 34. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
You know, early when in talking with Coach Van Diest, when he was doing his interview with you, Jason, you'd asked him, are there any young leaders, you know, that the team can look to? And he said, you know, I like the way Drew Melton's playing with the emotion, and boy, did he come off the field just energized and ready to go. So that's what I was talking about. I think that's what they're looking for. Those are the kind of things they need. So great interception, and a hard interception by Melton.
2nd down and 6. Coming up on 11 minutes to play, 1st quarter. Ali in the backfield with Gustafson. 3 receivers split out to the near side left in front of the Saints bench as a handoff to Ali. Straight up the gut. He'll be stopped just shy of the 1st down marker.
They've had good success.
They're going to call it a 1st down.
I don't think it is, Jason. The chain gang was wanting to move, but now they moved him.
Linesman immediately on that far sideline waved them past.
Yeah, they don't mess around either side. I think maybe in the school of officiating they say, okay, if there's no decision on a 1st down, it either is or it isn't. So don't contemplate, just go.
1st and 10, Carroll after a nice run by Ali. And now the Saints send Gustafson way out to the right. 3 receivers stacked just to the tight end. Straight handoff or straight snap to Walsh. Off right tackle, and he gets across the 45 up to the 48-yard line. 2nd down and 8 coming up for the Saints. They're going to mark him back to the 47, so 2nd down and 3 after the gain of 7.
They sure have good speed out of Walsh, don't they? I mean, we've talked about him all year, and that time, you know, they're going after Emter and Pays, the right guard and the right tackle for Carroll. They've been running behind them most of the day. 290, 302.
Well, you know, the first 2 games we saw him run off that left side, and now switching up a little bit. Gustafson with receiver to his right, one to his left, hands it off to Ali. Across the 50, breaks out of a tackle, gets across the 45 to the 40-yard line of Northern. Marking down 1st and 10 at the 39.
That was a nice read by Major Ali. That play started to the right, and he jump cut that back to the left on the weak side and popped it loose, and he took 3 to bring him down. He's a powerful running back.
1st and 10, Carroll. 4 straight runs on this possession.
You know what's interesting in this offense, excuse me, Jason, is Carroll has come out in a 2-back set mostly. No, you don't normally see Ali and Walsh in the backfield. We've seen him in the backfield most of the 1st quarter.
Paul Hart split out wide side of the right. The ball on the near left hash mark. Now Walsh out of the backfield. Sets up at the 40. Gustafson back to pass for the first time on this drive. Looks for Walsh. Downfield has him across the 15. Still on his feet. 5 Northern Lights tacklers finally bring him down at the 12-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you, Gustafson threw a strike there, didn't he? That was just a skinny post, and he let that open up. The offensive line gave him time, and he threw that on a rope. There was no short arm, no alligator hands, nothing there, just a throw and a catch.
And Walsh was wide open behind the safety, or behind the corner, rather, in front of the safety. They mark him at the 10, so 1st and goal, Carroll at the 10. 8:40 to play, 1st quarter. This is the first red zone possession for either team. And again, they'll go with the Wildcat. Ali now in the backfield with Eric Dawson. Gustafson split out top side to the right. Hart and Sipes near side left. Direct snap to Dawson after Hart will go in motion, and a delay of game on the Saints. And that is not going to make Coach Howlett very happy.
Yeah, it seemed like it was taking a long time for all that to set up. And, you know, Tanner's experienced a couple delay of games, Jason. I think he's had at least one in all 3 offenses, or all 3 games.
Well, that wasn't Gustafson. That was Dawson in the backfield. But they got the timeout, so no penalty.
Oh, so
the Saints called the timeout first.
So good timeout by the sideline.
So it'll be 1st and goal still from the 10. 8:21 to play. Carroll College Athletics would like to thank some of their corporate sponsors for their support. So Blue Cross Blue Shield, Capital Collision Center, Rutgers Furniture, Sandy Max, Qdoba, and Touchmark. And we are going to get a timeout on the field. We'll go ahead and take it with them. 8:21 to play in the 1st quarter. It's the Saints nothing, the Lights nothing. This is Carroll College football on ESPN Radio.
First and goal at the 29 line, Carroll College.
8:21 to play, first quarter, no score. Saints with a first and goal at the 10. And they're still going to stay with the Wildcat. Dawson and Ali in the backfield. I think that's Hart and Sipe split out wide to the right after the timeout. Bring Hart in motion. Direct snap. Eric Dawson off left tackle, still on his feet. Busts through to the 5-yard line before he's finally drugged down by Steven Fernandez and Dylan Kelly. Corner came up to help out.
Well, you know what Eric Dawson gives you? He gives you 6'1", 200 and roughly 35, 40 pounds coming at you heavy. So second and goal from the 5. Throughout this whole first quarter, Jason, we see a little bit of difference with Carroll's offense, and that is more of a two-back set.
And more of intensity. Off or split eye formation. 2 tight end set. Gustafson up under center. He'll turn, he'll fake the handoff to Walsh. Now he'll run, throw, end zone. It's on the deck, incomplete. He took a nice shot from Fernandez. You know, that's 2 plays now that Fernandez has come through untouched and had a shot at Gustafson.
Yeah, coming off that perimeter, and basically what it was almost a naked boot, so he wasn't designed to be blocked. There was play action, and they Northern played that really well, but in the red zone, it's a little bit harder to get people free just because there's so much condensed real estate.
Third and goal from the 5. 7:34 left, opening quarter. Ali in the backfield now with Gustafson. The ball is placed at the 5 near left hash mark as the Saints move right to left. Fake the handoff, Ali. Gustafson throws end zone. Threw it too high. Paul Hart slipped on the back of the end zone, but the ball was also too high, and that'll bring up 4th down. And for the first time all year, we see Dylan Torgerson come on for a field goal attempt. So this will be a 22-yarder, really nothing more than an extra point attempt here. Connor Polson is the holder.
You know, in that Wildcat, they picked up about 7 yards on first down, Jason. I'm kind of surprised that they just didn't muscle it in there. They went to the air twice and were unsuccessful with it. So
the snap, the hold, the kick is good. So Torgerson gives the Saints a 3-0 lead.
Off of a turnover, too, off of a Melton's interception. Northern was going on a good drive and hung a fade ball up there, and Melton turned around and intercepted it. So there you go.
So 7:25 to play here in the first quarter. It's 3-0 Carroll after Dylan Torgerson hits his first field goal of the season. He's attempted one. He's made one. So a positive drive, a 70-yard drive for the Saints that culminates in 3 points.
Yeah, and Tanner Gustafson threw a strike, too, on that skinny post, or that seam, whatever you want to call it, and hit him right in stride, hit Walsh right in stride. So
the Saints will kick it away. Beautiful day. Like I said earlier, it's about 40 degrees cooler than it was last week. You're actually wearing your coat and gloves and probably got your ninja suit on underneath. Or
I do. I got my Raphael Ninja Turtle.
There you go.
Suit, just trying it out for Halloween. I did not put my mask on yet, but I'm sure by the fourth quarter I'll have that on.
Snow on Mount Helena. Nice to see that. Beautiful sunny day, though. Some clouds to our right, some clouds to our left.
Are you a weather forecaster?
I used to be, yeah, actually I was. Torgerson's kick is going to be taken at the 7. Wedge developing. And then it closes in a hurry at the 25. I didn't get the number on that Lights kick returner.
That might have been Williams. Was it?
Donovan Garner, maybe. But the Lights will have a 1st and 10 at their own 25 with 7:17 to play first quarter. And we are tied, or it's a 3-0 Saints lead.
You know, Northern not electing to go to the air much in that first drive, Jason. So I would anticipate we'll see the quarterback, Tommy Wilson, a little more active in the air.
Came in with 3 interceptions, 6 touchdowns, now has 4 interceptions after the pick by Melton on the last play, or last possession, as the handoff to Blanchard, trying to get out to the left side. He stays in bounds, tackled at the 26.
Remember what I shared with you earlier in the pregame where you'll see the same play. That was trips tight, ran to the tight end side. That play gave Carroll fits both against Tech and Rocky. So right away, You're going to see what Carroll had trouble with, but they did a nice job of defending it there. Carroll in a 4-man front, though. All 4 guys down.
Second down and 9, 6:45 to go in the opening quarter. The pass to the near side for Garner, who just flat out dropped it. Now, I just noticed this. I was going to say it on the last possession. Wilson, kind of an awkward-looking quarterback out there. He's a big dude. You know, he's 6'1", 205, but he has a weird throwing motion.
Yeah, it's unorthodox. Here's a hurry-up offense. Again.
3rd and 9, trips to the near side right. One receiver on the northern sideline left.
Looked like Carroll in a man under 1 deep.
5.
Not messing around here.
5 at the line of scrimmage. They show blitz, back it off. Wilson throws, and I think it's caught. It is. A flag comes in. The pass was caught on the far side by Bryce Bumgardner, a 6'1" sophomore from St. Helens, Oregon.
There's a lot of hand checking going on, and that flag was thrown in the middle of the route. It wasn't on the end of the route, so I don't know if it's offensive or. He waved the flag off.
Well, it was on Carroll, so the result of that play is a first down at the 43-yard line. With 6:38 to play in the opening quarter, Saints leading at 3-0, but Northern on the move again. And really, aside from that interception from Melton, Northern has played pretty good offense so far. And they played great offense for the first 2 games. Hand off to Blanchard. Hurdles the tackler at the 45. He's across the 50 and brought down in Saints territory at the 44-yard line. It'll be another 1st and 10 for the Lights.
We got a flag on the ground, though, right in the holding area. But it was after the running back was through, so it's kind of the timing of the call is a little bit different. So they're pointing at the guys in purple.
Well, Northern's walking backwards.
Northern's walking backwards.
They've got some big dudes up front, too.
Big 74, whoever 74 is.
That's Dylan Schmidt, their left guard, 6'4", 275. They go 300, 275, 300, 275, 280 on that front offensive line.
Oh.
So wave off the flag. So they called crackback blocking, but it started high according to the official, so it wasn't an illegal block. So it's 1st and 10 for Northern at the 44-yard line of Carroll with 6:23 to go in the first. 3 receivers split out to the right, 1 to the left. Wilson hands off. Blanchard's got a hole up the middle. Quady comes in to make the stop across the 40, mark him down at the 38-yard line. But those holes are opening up for Blanchard now in that middle of the line.
Yeah, they really are. Carroll is not doing a good job at the point of attack because they're gaining yards before there's a purple jersey in the area. So they've got to reestablish the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 3. Pass to Blanchard out of the backfield. Hit, spins, brought down across the 35 to the 32-yard line. First down. He's shifty.
He is shifty. The field's a little bit wet too, Jason. You can see some of the footing, some of their footing slipping here a little bit. But, you know, Northern's ripping off big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down. They're ending up in short series. But, you know, two series ago in this game, they get a 3rd and 9, and Carroll doesn't get it stopped.
Brian Peters in now at backfield with Wilson. He gets the handoff. And hit across the 30, brought down at the 29. Chase Bowen in on the stop, the sophomore from Emmett, Idaho. But again, a gain of about 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 with 5 minutes to play first quarter. And Northern right back at the line of scrimmage. Wilson takes the shotgun snap, passes right side. Williams complete, knocked out of bounds by Ryan Boulier, but it's a first down at the Saints 18.
MSU Northern moving this ball pretty quickly, Jason. I mean, this is, again, we see the modernization of offense in football, and it's really how many plays can you get in a game, and Northern's probably pushing 15 plays in this quarter alone.
Well, they ran 92 plays last week. A handoff to Peters again off left side, and he'll be hit at the 16 and brought down. A gain of 2, 2nd down and 8 coming up with 4.5 to play in the first quarter. Saints up 3-0.
Saints struggling right now, Jason, reestablishing the line of scrimmage. They're catching everything. Everything that Northern's giving them, they're catching. There's no one going forward, no disruption of play, no disruption of timing. Everything is, they're catching, and you can't catch when you're on defense.
Wilson on the run himself. Waited for his hole to open up, and finally was brought down by Bastarachia at the 15-yard line. Mark it at actually the 13. Beg your pardon. So it'll be 3rd down and about 4 coming up for the Lights with 3:50 to go. Carroll up 3-0, but Wilson, a designed quarterback run there, has a
big 3rd down play here, and they'll run as much as they want to throw. So Wilson is, but remember, they have 7 throwing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown.
Wilson back to pass. Here comes the blitz. Avoids the sack. Now throws. It's complete to the tight end at the 10, the 5. He dives for the goal line. Did he hit it? He got the pylon. Touchdown Northern.
Well, we got a flag on the field up top, Jason. I don't know what that's about. Illegal man downfield.
That was Kittrell Willingham, the tight end out of Parkland, Washington.
Boy, that's a big break for Carroll. There's a illegal man downfield. You see that in a scramble situation. The offensive linemen get a little bit nervous and they start inching forward. They only have 3 yards that they can play with in that line of scrimmage, and once you step your toe over that 3rd yard, well, that's a huge break for Carroll.
Yeah, take the points off the board.
Good pressure from Carroll in that, Jason. So it'll bring up 3rd and 10.
With 3:22 to go in the quarter, ball at the 19-yard line.
Now, if I'm the safety, the flag route has hurt me every time. So I'm going to cheat on this flag route a little bit because it's probably coming at me.
Trips to the right. Wilson audibilizes out. 8 on the play clock. He'll move Peters to his left. The snap in time. Wilson back to pass. Throws for Peters. End zone. It's incomplete. He had it in his hands. And that looked like Arbizani maybe, or Tony Madsen came over to help out to knock that one loose, but it is 4th down for Northern.
A nice defensive play there by the corner. Two great corner plays to save. 1, Melton's interception, and 2, Arbizani breaks that touchdown up. So see if they can get this blocked and get out of here 3-zip.
Tommy Langley on for a 35-yarder. It's going to be short and to the right, and it's no good. He's now 0 for 3 on field goals this year, and the Saints still lead 3-0 with 3:08 to play here in the first quarter. We get a timeout on the field. It's the Saints 3, the Lights nothing. Back in a minute. This is Carroll College football on 94.9 ESPN Radio.
Score from Missoula. Grizzlies 7, Savannah State 0. Saints fans, stand up and make some noise because your Fighting Saints cheerleaders are throwing out some Carroll Saints shot footballs. Take the Carroll Saints shot football, return it to the Saints shop in either the Protective Center or the Stadium Store, and get 20% off your entire purchase of regular price. Start to go and get the exclusive sale on the volunteer babysitters and practices. Ladies and gentlemen, your Saints cheerleaders.
Three 0 Carroll College leading on the Sandy Max scoreboard. Carroll College football brought to you in part by Helena Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. Mattress Firm, Montana's largest Tempur-Pedic retailer, is Mattress Firm. Save time, save money. First Interstate Bank, it's you and I together. Brad Schmidt Insurance, your all-state good hands dealer, and Morrison Merrily Systems, technology simplified. So the Saints had fallen behind 6-3. The touchdown wiped off the board due to a penalty and then a missed field goal. And the Saints go back on offense, leading 3-0. Jason Walker along with Greg Upham here on ESPN Radio. Also want to thank our listeners joining us for the first time on the Carroll Athletics YouTube channel. So Gustafson, ball at the 20, 1st and 10 Carroll. 3:08 to play here, first quarter. Ali in the backfield. Gustafson back to pass, looking middle of the field, has Sipes caught, still on his feet. It takes 6 Lights to bring him down, but that's a first down at the 38.
Barnett does a nice job of picking that outside blitzer up. They've had trouble with that in 2 of these plays, and Northern snuck another outside blitz up, but Barnett peeled back and picked that up, giving Gustafson the time to throw. When he's had the time to throw today, Jason, he's been on the mark.
Dylan Kelly, the last one up off the pile for Northern. Sipes, a big dude to bring down. Carroll with a 1st and 10 at the 38. 2:45 to go.
Same exact formation.
And Gustafson will hand it off to Ali. Got a great block from Chris Emter, and he's up across the 50. How about that block from Emter? He peeled back his defender inside and rushed him back 10 yards the other way. And Ali's across the 50 into Lights territory at the 49.
Corey Lee, the DB, coming up to stop Major Ali. Did you see that? Major Ali hit him. It looked like a semi hitting a gnat. I mean, it just dead-legged him.
Ryan Arnson, the stud freshman out of Helena High last year, record-setting running back.
They're going to try and get him on the perimeter, too. It's first down. I look for him to run right outside Dawson, Eric Dawson on the right. They're going to try and get that edge seal and give him the ball.
2:05 to go in the quarter. Saints up 3-0. Hand off Arnson. He comes near side to the left. Gets across the 45. Shifts through a couple of tacklers and into the hole and gets down to the 42. A gain of 8.
That's exactly what they did. They brought Dawson in motion and just tucked him in behind him. They're trying to get the edge because once with speed like Arnston has, and he has quick speed too. It's not just outright speed, it's quick speed, meaning that he can get fast in a hurry. And if they can get the edge, he's tough to catch. So that's what they want to do with him.
2nd down and 3 with 90 seconds to play in the quarter. 2 receivers to the right. Dawson, tight end, left along with Connor McGree. They'll hand it off to Ali. He'll cut it back to the left, slip through a tackle across the 35, down to the 33-yard line at 32. Another first down for the Saints.
So I'll tell you what, is Ali getting better every carry? Jason, can you see that? Just that little subtleness in that cut. Wasn't a big cut at all. It just made the guy miss, and that's what the great ones do.
Well, and you can see the growth he made last year. You talked a lot about how he was covering it up. He wasn't, he didn't want to fumble, and now he's just running. He's running like with confidence.
His coming out party was College of Idaho, and he just keeps getting better and better and better. I'm impressed with him.
Gustafson, ball in the near left hash mark. He'll send Sipes in motion from left to right. 50 seconds to go in the quarter. First down play, handoff Walsh. Waited for a great hole to open up. He's across the 25 and down to the 21-yard line. Another first down for Carroll College.
I'm sure Coach Jim Hogan is very happy right now because the offensive line has taken control of that line of scrimmage, and any back that they put in there right now is probably averaging about 6, 7, maybe even 8 yards a carry. So they are doing a great job.
30 seconds to go, first quarter. Saints up 3-0 here at Nelson Stadium.
This is the best recipe for hurry-up offenses is just don't get them the ball.
Well, this is the best Carroll's offense has looked all season. Gustafson with Hart in motion. Hands it off Arnson. Arnson waits, gets it to the 20. He's so good, and we saw this in high school, he's so good at just waiting for that smallest of hole to open up. And he's small. He's a tiny running back, and running behind those big boys, he can wait for that hole to open up. He rides it out, and then he's gone.
One of the things he's not going to like in the college game versus the high school game, he'll learn it, though, is in a high school game, you get one carry, and then pretty soon you're going to get the next carry, and then you're in the same series, you're going to get the next carry. And if out of 8 plays, you might touch the ball 4 times, where you can get a rhythm, right? In college, you'll get 1 play and then you're out. Maybe 2 plays and then you're out. They won't go back to you.
We're at the end of the first quarter on the Sandy Mac scoreboard. It's Carroll 3, Northern nothing. Back in 1 minute. This is Carroll College football on ESPN Radio. Jason Walker, Greg Upham back at Nelson Stadium. 3-0 Carroll leading as we start the second quarter.
Nice quarter for Carroll, Jason, on the offense, right? You like that?
That wasn't bad. Lots to build on.
Nice interception by Melton.
They have-
Nice. You got to go over and thank the offensive lineman that was downfield on the touchdown for Northern. We're happy with him.
Second down and 9. The Saints now going left to right as they head towards the PE Center. Gustafson with 2 receivers, Hart and Sipes. He'll roll to his left. Gets a good block from Barnett. Throws end zone and out of the reach of Hart through the back of the end zone. Will be 3rd and 9. Saints leading 3-0. Designed rollout, and Barnett did a nice job getting out, and then he shifted back, picked up the block.
You know what we haven't talked about today yet, and I fully assume that we will in this area, is Eric Dawson. I mean, he's a go-to guy, especially in these areas. He's a big target. He's got great hands.
Well, they ran the Wildcat with him in the first quarter. Got 5 yards on the 1st and goal. He's split up as a tight end.
Well, here comes
Oh, that's the position.
Northern sneaking up that outside backer position. Oh, here comes 5-man pressure. Carroll picks it up pretty good.
And the pass to the end zone to Ryan Walsh, and it's a touchdown, Carroll College.
Boy, for Walsh being questionable for today, I think that question's answered. Wouldn't you say that, Jason? I mean, he's been Carroll offense in this first early part of the game.
So the Saints go up 9-0. Torgerson on for the extra point. At a 19-yard touchdown pass to Walsh.
So the question mark right now, if you're Carroll, if you're the Carroll coaching staff, and I mean this question needs to be answered right now. Carroll just scores. Their defense has to come out on a 3-and-out and get out of there because they're going to see a deep ball in this series.
Ball is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good from Torgerson. He is perfect on PATs this year, and he is giving the Saints a 10-0 lead. 14:48 to play here in the second quarter. Looks like we're going to stay here with this one. So Saints looking good. You know, Northern has been able to move the ball, and really Northern shot themselves in the foot. An interception on the first possession and a touchdown called back because of a penalty on the second possession, but they've been able to move the ball downfield.
All right, this is where I'm at. If I'm a Carroll coach right now, Jason, if I'm Coach Castens, who's coaching their defensive front, or I'm Coach Van Diest, who's coaching the linebackers, it's time for one of that group to step up now in this series. They're the ones that are going to have to make the difference. They've got to get a sack out of that defensive front or something out of the linebackers. This is not a secondary play coming up. This will come to pressure and forcing the situation with the game. So it'll be interesting to see how Van Diest handles this, whether he settles into the 3-man front or he starts to bring 4 or 5-man pressure in some capacity, because I guarantee you what Tommy Wilson's going to do. He's going to do exactly what Quinn McQuarrie did, and he's going to push the ball deep as quickly as he can.
Torgerson's kick will sail down to the 5. Taken there by Garner. He'll cut it from the near side all the way over to the far side of the field. Now cuts it back middle of the field. Still juking through traffic, and after all of that, he ran 97 yards and got to the 20-yard line.
His cleats are wore out. I mean, I imagine when he gets on the sideline, they're going to have to put new cleats on him because he went back and forth about 15 times. I'll tell you what.
A scoring drive by Carroll, 8 plays, 80 yards, took 3 minutes, 20 seconds, and a touchdown pass from Tanner Gustafson to Ryan Walsh.
If I'm a defensive lineman right now, I'm challenging my teammates to get back there and disrupt Tommy Wilson immediately.
Well, the Saints have not gotten a whole lot of pressure on either quarterback from Tech or Rocky yet this year. They'll run the wide receiver screen out on the far side. It's caught by Seth Remley, 6-foot junior out of Canada with 8 catches coming in, a couple of touchdowns, and he has a gain up across the 25 to the 28-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 2. 14-19 to play here in the first half.
Home run down. 2nd and short. They're not worried about getting the first down. This is it, secondary. Back up a little bit.
10-0 Carroll. They'll hand it off to Peters. Good defensive swarming there by the linebackers. And Peters goes nowhere. In fact, he lost a yard back to the 27-yard line.
I'd like to play a McBride Galter from the safety position. Came up and sealed that up. Did a nice job. David Anderson from the middle linebacker did a nice job there too. So
3rd and 3 coming up from the near left hash mark.
3rd and 3. Looks like they're going to settle in and try and go for the first down instead of push the ball deep.
Wilson
Big on big.
slaps his hand, spins, fires across the middle, complete across the 30. That'll be enough for a first down. Tackle made by Quady and Anderson, but the catch is made by Jess Cron, a backup tight end, 6'4 senior from Hawkinson, Washington. And it'll be first down for Northern.
Nifty little play, just put his heels right on the sticks, and Wilson threw the ball right there. Just a quick little pickup of 3 yards. So that tells me something, though, too. It tells me that they may not feel they can pick up 2 to 3 yards in a first down, running the ball.
Wilson, handoff, Peters, runs into the line of scrimmage and goes nowhere. 2nd and long coming up for the Lights with 13 minutes to go in the opening half.
Wilson would have kept that ball, Jason. Guess what? You'd be saying 30, 25, 20, 15 on that read. He didn't, and he was wide open on that. So I fully anticipate on that read that he'll keep it the next time.
4-man front for the Saints. 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left for Wilson. He'll pass right side. It's caught by Remily. Hit and brought down at the 39-yard line. Drew Melton in on the stop, just a 2 yards shy, about 1.5 yards shy of the first down, and it'll be 3rd and short with 12.5 to go.
You know, what's interesting is they've gotten some good yardage out of 1st and 2nd down, you know that, and got themselves in 3rd and shorts. There hasn't been many 3rd and mediums or 3rd and longs. It's mostly 3rd and short.
It's 3rd and 2 right now. Saints up 10-0. 12-12 to go in the opening half. Handoff.
He's short, too, Jason.
Stopped by, looked like,
you know, Wilson yelling at Christensen. You see that on the sideline, little disruption about maybe possibly the offensive play coming in or something, but old number 22 is not a happy camper.
Parker Bernhardt with the tackle and no gain, so it'll bring a punt situation coming up for Langley.
Tommy Wilson looks like, you said it, he's kind of a throwback. He looks like maybe Johnny Unitas. Maybe he's reincarnated from 1879 or something like that.
Sammy Baugh.
Sammy Baugh.
Unitas was a little taller. Punt by Langley is going to bounce, hit at the 30, take a Northern bounce, and then be picked up by Beaulier, and he gets up to the 25. That's dangerous always.
Boy.
And we're going to get a timeout on the field. 11:22 to go in the half. It's the Saints 10, the Lights nothing. Back in 1 minute. You're listening to Carroll College football on ESPN Radio.
Nice series getting off the field.
Carroll College football brought to you in part by Smitty's Fireplace Shop on North Montana. There's something about a fire. Rucker's Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Rucker's Furniture and America's Mattress Gallery. Capital Collision Center. Montana State Law says it's your vehicle. It's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center. First Community Bank working together for you. And Overland Express. Dragon Wings, local brews, and good eats at the Overland Express. 10-0 Carroll on the Sandy Max scoreboard. And the Saints forcing a punt, and they take over now at their own 25. Trips to the far side left. Gustafson will hand it off to Walsh. Gets a great hole off the left side across the 30 to the 35, and then brought down at the 40. A gain of 14 on 1st and 10.
Northern caught in a blitz there, Jason. They brought a strong side blitz out of that trip set, thinking that they were going to run there. Walsh picked it right up as he handed the ball and just moved his lane to his left, which gave him a nice seam to run.
1st and 10, Carroll. 11 minutes to play first half. They lead 10-0.
Remember, Coach Howlett is a master at home run balls, and this offense is starting to set itself up for that. So I would think he's going to take a shot at the end zone here pretty quick.
Sipes in motion from left to right. He sets up at the hash mark. They'll hand it off to Ali. Off the right side. Bowls over a tackler and then brought down.
Offensive line doing a nice job, Jason. They've had some good runs from scrimmage on first down. There's a pickup of 5. I think it looks maybe about 4.5999, which would be 4.6 in your math class. Were you taught to round up, or were you?
Yes.
How were you taught?
Yes.
Because last week you had struggled with Count Dracula. You were back to the pub PBS station.
Yep, Sesame Street's my friend, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. Second down and 6, coming up on 10:10 to go in the opening half. Saints up 10-0 on the Sandy Mac scoreboard. Sipes again in motion. Gustafson will drop back to pass. He'll come near side. Receiver, it's caught and still on his feet. I'm surprised they didn't rule him out of bounds, honestly, but Kyle Pierce, a freshman from Nampa, Idaho, gives the Saints a first down at the Lights 36-yard line.
Throwing to some pretty big targets on that outside. You know, Sipes and Hart, those are big receivers. They're, what, maybe 2-3 times your height, maybe 4 times. I don't know.
Kyle Pierce, 6'3", 190 out of Skyview High in Nampa. Went in, took him right out of the College Idaho's backyard. And the Saints with a 1st and 10 with 9:36 to go in the opening half. 10-0 on the Sandy Mac scoreboard. Gustafson.
He's audible into something. I think he wants a deep ball. He's got 2 receivers wide.
He passes short, caught by Sipes, short of the 30. Brought down at the 31-yard line. Gain of about 6, so it'll be 2nd down and 4 coming up. Make it 2nd down and 5 officially for Carroll.
You see Tanner Gustafson really getting in the groove of the game now. I mean, once you let those quarterbacks settle in and get that confidence, and that's what he has right now. He audibled his offense out of what he wanted. So nice check balance there by Coach Howlett and Tanner Gustafson. And here we go. 2nd and medium. That's where Carroll likes to play.
3 receivers right. Gustafson one of them. They'll go Wildcat. Fake the handoff, Walsh to Arnson. Walsh keeps it himself. Runs over a tackler. That was DeQuincy Bergen, the defensive back who came up from Texas. And Walsh very close to a first down. Referee looks at it and marks it 3rd down and about 6 inches with 8.5 to play in the first half.
Impressed with Walsh's strength, Jason. We've talked about it all season long, but you know that's what 10, 15 pounds will give you in another year in the weight room.
Connor McGree comes in. Alex Hoffman, who's gone from quarterback to tight end to defensive end last week, back to tight end this week. Probably see him on the defense as well, but a huge set coming up for the Saints. I formation, Dawson in to block for Ali. Gustafson under center. He'll turn. He'll hand it off to Ali. He'll have the first down. Barely. He gets it to the 25. He got it by a yard, but he had to work for it.
Yeah, he got it on second effort. And I don't know, Jason, if I've been watching him all season long, if he's gone down on first hit. I don't think he has. In fact, if he gets into a level 2 or level 3 player, meaning a linebacker or a safety corner, he just runs right over the top of them. First off, they can't get low enough to get at him. You know, they can't get the leverage piece.
Sipes in with the play call. Paul Hart as well, the receivers. They'll go to the far side left. 1st and 10, Carroll. 7.5 to go in the second quarter. 10-0 Saints in the lead. Gustafson back to pass. Looking end zone, and it's intercepted at the goal line. He led the receiver, Sipes, by about 10 extra yards, and coming down with the interception was DeQuincy Bergen. And they're going to confer to see if he was in the end zone, if it's a touchback or not, or if he's going to be brought down at the 1 or 2 yard line.
Boy, what a beautiful drive, too. And Tanner, I don't know, he just led the post route too much, and the middle safety didn't really even have to move much. It just came right to him, and I think he led his receiver just a little too much. He had his receiver open, actually. It was a right decision. He just threw it a little bit too far to the right. But, you know, hey, he's playing a great game. You know, he's got to let it go. You got to have amnesia when you're a quarterback or a cornerback. Both sound the same, but you better forget the last play and move on.
3rd interception on the year for Gustafson, so the Lights take over. Trailing 10-0, ball at their own 1 yard line in the shadows of the PE Center, if there were shadows. But Wilson stands 5 yards deep in his own end zone. Back to pass. Throws, and it is caught. A terrific catch made by Camus Thomas, a freshman from Spokane, Washington. up ahead across the 15 at the 16-yard line.
Yeah, and I think he got McBride. McBride was tighter on the coverage that time, just missed it. So really a good play by the quarterback and a receiver, and nothing really bad by McBride. Just a good offensive play.
4 wide, pass to Blanchard. Breaks the tackle in the backfield and then gets up across the 18-yard line. So 2nd down and 8 coming up.
You know, Carroll has done a better job in the second quarter, Jason, of disrupting Northern's offense. They're still a little uneasy. They're unsure as they were, in that first opening drive. They're not as comfortable as they were. So Carroll's got to capitalize on this.
Hoffman in, blocking back on the Saints offense. Now he's in at nose tackle. Pass complete to the tight end, who runs out of bounds with it. That completion goes to Kittrell Willingham.
Confusion in coverage with Carroll. They ran the tight end kind of from a right in the slot out, and then nobody covered him, and the corner and the safety ran back inside. So
Willingham ran out of bounds. He had room to run and just stepped out of bounds. So it's 3rd and 4.
We got an illegal procedure by an overzealous offensive tackle.
So the flag comes in, so it'll be 3rd and 9. 6:19 to go here in the first half. Carroll leading 10-0. Carroll Athletics would like to thank Opportunity Bank, KXLH, Independent Record, U.S. Bank, and Lithia for their support of Saints Athletics. So 3rd and 9. 3 receivers to Wilson's near side left. The audibles, top side, 1 receiver to the right. He wears a glove on his left hand, keeps the right hand passing hand free. The snap, back to pass, throws, caught, 1st down. 1st down completion made by Bo Wilhelm, who's a senior out of White Lake, Michigan, and Wilhelm has made a couple of spectacular grabs. He had one in the spring game last year that was a one-handed highlight reel type of grab that was on SportsCenter, and then also made one last week against Montana Tech in their loss. But that one he hauled in with 2 hands, and it's a 1st down for the Northern Lights.
Wilson was going to go to him the whole way, looked at him the entire way.
3 receivers to the right. He'll turn, he'll hand it off to Blanchard. Hit behind the line of scrimmage, misses. The tackle was missed. He gets up across the 30 to the 31. It'll be 2nd down, and we'll call it a long 8 coming up. But after he's really good at making the first tackler miss.
He's real patient. You see how long it takes him to go? He waits a long time before he decides to go.
Trips left on 2nd down and 8 with 5:05 to go in the first half. Carroll leading here at Nelson Stadium 10-0. Both teams looking for their first win of the year. Wilson, right side, pass incomplete. As Chandler Arbizani stepped underneath and knocked it loose. Knocked it away from the intended receiver, Wilhelm, out on the far sideline. So 3rd and long coming up for the Lights.
Well, I'll tell you what, he likes the ball on the outside in 3rd downs. Every pass play on 3rd down has been on the sideline. So I should pick up that tendency by now if I'm a corner or safety.
4 wide receivers. Wilson surveying the landscape. Now the pressure comes, and he'll have to throw it away.
It should be grounding because there was no receiver in the area.
He was outside the tackle box.
Yeah, I don't buy that. I'm going to the league.
David
commissioner's
Anderson's
office on
arguing your point to no avail.
Well,
It'll be
it
4th
was
down.
too. Tackle box, schmackle box. It's
the rule.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You know what? We'll step outside. We'll just fist fight. Whoever wins gets to change the rule.
I got the rule book.
No. Don't give me the rule book. Boy,
The ref's standing right there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So here comes the 2nd punt for Northern. Langley's punt hits, takes a Carroll bounce, and Peters marks it down at the 40-yard line. We're going to get a timeout on the field. 4:43 to go on the Sandy Mac scoreboard first half. It's Carroll 10, Northern nothing. Back in a minute. You're listening to Carroll College Football on ESPN Radio.
It's whose?
4:43 to go,
Absolutely.
first half. 4:43 to play first half. 10-0, Carroll College leading. They have forced Northern into an interception, a missed field goal, and back-to-back punts. Carroll, meanwhile, punted, field goal made, touchdown pass to Walsh, and an interception. And the Saints have a 10-0 lead as they head back onto the field. On the offensive side, ball on the near right hash mark, right at the 40-yard line after the punt from Langley.
I can't believe that Carroll isn't setting something up. This is a run. This is a predominant run formation. Trips tight, and they've ran the ball every time. I'm just thinking they're going to try and sneak one out here.
Blitz coming, picked up by the Saints. Gustafson, pass dropped by Eric Dawson. You don't see that a whole lot. Oh, and a late hit out of bounds. I don't know if that's correct, but Dawson dropped the ball. He was popped by Jared Lucas.
Outside the bound. You know, that's the rule. I've got the rule book right here. You know, if you're
personal foul.
If you're
well,
trying
he was still in bounds when he got hit.
If you're trying to challenge the rule, I have the rule book right here.
Dawson doesn't drop many passes. They say he's got the best hands in the league, but it's a first down up to the 45 after the personal foul.
Rule 77-55-409. 77-55-409 says that what I said was right.
He took what's the officials call a late hit, trips to the left for Tanner Gustafson with the Saints up 10-0, 4:39 to go, first half.
Same formation, Jason, exact same formation.
And Walsh takes the handoff, left side, brought down behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a yard, so it'll be 2nd and 11 coming up for the Saints in Lights territory.
Well, that's one of the first times I think that Northern's defense has tackled Carroll for a loss. So good job offensive line for Carroll.
4 wide receivers for Gustafson. Back to pass again, looking left, throwing that way, and overshot his receiver out on the far sideline. Again, Kyle Pierce, a freshman, seeing a lot of playing time with Troy Arnson out because of injury. You have Connor Phone out today because of injury. And it'll be 3rd and 11 coming up for Carroll with 4:09. See what formula is drawn up here.
You know, Tanner's ball sailed on him a little bit that time. I noticed if he doesn't get his feet set perfectly, that ball kind of rises on him, and that's what it did that time.
It's a little breeze blowing into his face as he's back to pass at the 50. Now he'll have to scramble. He's going to juke away and get a first down. He dives across to the 31-yard line. That's one thing that Tanner Gustafson can do, is keep plays alive with his feet.
Yeah, he's very athletic, and he's not afraid to run. You know, like a Dakota Stonehouse. I don't know if there was, I don't know even if there's an ounce of fear in Dakota Stonehouse. Maybe even a portion of an ounce, maybe an eighth of a teaspoon, maybe.
1st and 10 at the 32 with 3:42 to go in the second quarter. Carroll leading at 10-0 on the Sandy Mac scoreboard. Gustafson, handoff Ali, skips, waits, gets across the 25. He'll be about a yard shy of the first down to the 22-yard line.
He's reading that inside zone really well. He's just getting better and better and better. Gig Harbor, they need to be proud of him out there.
Met his mom before the Tech game. What a wonderful lady. A lot of empty seats here at Nelson Stadium on a sunshiny day. It's the temperature looking to creep up above 50 as Gustafson again hands it off to Ali. Again straight up the middle. And again a first down run down. He'll have a 1st and goal at the 6-yard line.
Northern having trouble on the inside. Carroll's got him figured out now. They're hitting that A-gap pretty hard with just a straight inside zone play.
Ali out, Walsh in. 2:50 to go here in the first half. Saints up 10-0, looking to increase it on a Northern team that came in giving up just under 600 yards per game.
And creating 570 yards per game.
Gustafson, handoff, Walsh, cuts it back up in the middle of the field. Touchdown, Carroll College.
And you know, one of the things we've seen too, Jason, or we have not seen out of Carroll, is a holding call, and they've been flagged with that a couple of times in the first couple of games, but here they're clean. So very nice drive. Coach Howlett's dialed in. Tanner Gustafson's dialed in. They've got the running game going. That's what they like.
Torgerson on for the extra point. Perfect on the year. 7 for 7. Polson puts it down. Torgerson's foot goes into it high and into the netting, and it's good. So 2:33 to play, first half. Saints leading 17-0. We'll stay here with it, but a very nice drive again by the Saints culminates in their second touchdown of the afternoon. 17-zip. And before we get real excited, let's remember this is still Northern. So as good as the Saints look, and they look as best as they have all year, they're not playing the likes of Tech or Rockies defense right now. Northern's defense, the worst in the Frontier Conference, but the Saints are taking advantage of it.
Well, they are, but here's the situation for Carroll where they are in their program right now. They can't for 1 second not celebrate and appreciate what's happening right now. Their program is in a different place than it was when they won 6 national championships. They have to recognize that. They have to build on the positiveness here and not take anything away from anything great that's going on. So this could be the rebuilding and going back to where that greatness was. But
well, don't get me wrong, this is fantastic. And, Mike Van Diest said they're going to stick with their basic defense against that no huddle. As the kickoff fielded by Garner, and he gets to the 21-yard line before he's brought down, and that is where Northern takes over for the 5th time in this ball game, trailing 10-0, 2:25 to go, first half.
I don't think Tommy Wilson has gotten really what he's wanted. I think maybe the inside safety play and linebacker play is not letting him have what he maybe wants, because all of his balls have been to the sideline. There really hasn't been much inside. Everything's been at the sideline. So,
and I misspoke. It's 17-0. 4 wide receivers. Wilson back to pass on 1st and 10. Looking deep down the field. He has Remily, and it's broken up by Drew Melton, who came underneath, got a hand in the middle of it, and knocked it down, the sophomore from Lewiston, Idaho.
And there's the first deep ball down the middle of the field. Melton does a nice job, but that's the type of defense that you're going to have if you're going to survive, because what does Northern have to do? They need to score right now. They need to get back in the game, so that's what quarterbacks will do. So hats off to Melton and his play today.
2nd down and 10. 2 wide right, 2 wide left. Blanchard in the backfield. Wilson back to pass, looking left. Still has plenty of time. Now he'll tuck it up and look to run and pass, and it's completed across over on the right side by Bryce Bumgardner, sophomore from Oregon, and it's 1st and 10 for Northern.
That's great coverage by the Carroll secondary. They've covered for up to 7 seconds. So that 3-man pressure is not it's got to get there, otherwise they're going to scramble and make those kind of plays. So maybe a 4th-man pressure, a 5-man pressure at some point in time.
Just under 2 minutes to go, and the receiver falls down. Remily out on the far sideline, and Wilson has a 2nd and 10 coming up, trailing 17-0.
Carroll does not want to give up any points, anything cheap before the half, and the offense is going to push the ball. So 2nd and long, and Carroll staying with the 3-man pressure and dropping 8. 3 plus 8 equals 11. That's how many you get.
Wilson drops back to pass. Pressure comes, and Quady is going to get credit for a sack well back at the 20-yard line.
That may be the first sack of the year, 2nd sack of the year. Yeah, you see the difference, and it's about time that the defensive front made plays like that. They've wanted that, they've needed that, and nice job for the secondary holding on. So, and you got 138, Jason. You have, as a Saints, you have all your timeouts left. So,
two
left
they
with
burned
129. So, Northern's going to try and run the clock down. I'm surprised that Carroll doesn't call timeout here. Really.
It is 3rd and Marysville for Wilson.
Oh,
broken play. He went to hand it off to Blanchard, and Blanchard ran out to block.
And that's a big mistake.
They're going to come together and discuss it, but it'll be a punt coming up for Northern.
But that stops the clock. He's better off just running and being tackled and forcing Carroll to use a timeout. He just gave Carroll another possession.
71 seconds to go, and Ryan Boulier back deep. He'll stand at his own 42-yard line, and he keeps backing up.
That's game management right there. I mean, he should know exactly on 3rd down, less than 2 minutes to play, what he can do. He can't take a sack, and he can't throw an interception. Other than that, he could go down to Vans and get lunch and come back, and it wouldn't bother anybody. But to do that is not the right thing.
The punt across the 50. It'll be down at the 41-yard line, and that's where Carroll will have it with 1 minute to play in the first half, leading 17-0. Now mark it at the 42. Saints got the ball to start the game. So a couple of punts, 3 in a row now by Northern. And Carroll, see what they do, if they try to take a couple of shots or if they're just going to be content to go into the locker room with a 17-0 lead.
Well, I hope they're not content. They've got the horsepower on the outside to make this happen. So 2 timeouts, 1 minute, ball at the 42. I very well expect them to go down and at least get a field goal, if not a touchdown.
Saints trailed 27-0 at halftime last week. And they lead 17-0 now. Dawson and Walsh in the backfield with Gustafson. 2 receivers to the near side. 1 top side left. Gustafson back to pass. He'll look deep downfield for Sipes and overshoots him by 17 yards. So 2nd and 10 coming up.
He had him too, Jason. He was wide open on the post route. That's the second deep ball he's overthrown coming across the middle.
So Ali will check in. Gustafson and Sipes discussing it. Gustafson now calling out the play in the huddle. 54 seconds to go in the half. Ali stands to Gustafson's left hip. Dawson, McGree in as tight ends. 1 receiver left, 1 to the right. They'll hand it off Ali. He'll stutter step. He'll get up to the 45 and brought down at the 46-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and 6. As Garrett Fowler in on the stop, the leading tackler in the Frontier Conference, averaging 14 tackles per game.
Okay, so Carroll's quarterback has the same rules that Wilson had before. I mean, I think they're pretty much content to get out of here, which
that'll be the first time all season the Saints will go into the halftime locker room with the lead. They were tied at 21 at Tech August 31st. They were down 27-0 a week ago. They'll hand it off to Arnson. Arnson will cut it up across the middle of the field to the 50 and then brought down at Northern's 40-yard line with 5 seconds to play in the half. Nice run by Rai. And now Carroll calls a timeout with 5 seconds left, so they're going to look to launch 1 deep. Mike Van Diestover with Nick Howlett talking to his quarterback, Tanner Gustafson. And now out to the offensive line. So the Saints will have it 1st and 10 at the Lights 40. Northern started off with an interception, missed field goal to tie it. 3 back-to-back punts. The Saints have punted, field goal, touchdown, interception, field goal, and they lead 17-0. Check that, 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
I question the game management right before the half, Jason. I really do. I think you have to play to win every time, and they had the time and the timeouts to do that. And I think they played a little conservatively here.
Hart and Sipes to the near side right. 1 receiver left, Hart in motion. Gustafson, 1 Hail Mary with 5 seconds. Now he'll just run for it as the clock expires. Still on his feet, brought down from behind by Fowler. And that will take us to the end of the first half. So, a very good offense and defensive half for Carroll College. A lot different than last week. And we go to the halftime locker room with the Saints on top. On the Sandy Mac scoreboard, it's the Saints 17. The Lights, nothing. Back with a halftime show in a moment. You're listening to Carroll College football on 94.9 ESPN Radio and ESPNMontana.com. Weird. Jason Walker, Greg Upham back at Nelson Stadium. (17-0) on the Sandy Mac scoreboard. The Saints leading here at the half, and you know it was a great first half played by all three aspects of Carroll College. Special teams did its job, offense doing its job, defense more than able to do its job.
Well, I think a couple things coming on defense that have been really nice to see. Number one, transition. They have not given up a transition score. Now, they got lucky, you know, the illegal man downfield, but part of that was because they forced that play to take a long time with coverage, and the coverage has been great, really. That's been nice. A big sack out of the defensive front like they needed that they haven't seen, you know, all season long, so a big sack when they needed that, and then very consistent play out of the offense other than, you know, Connor Phone's been long on a couple balls. That interception going in was long, and then he had a guy wide open near the end of the game there that was long, and another one that was long. So that part, I think, you know, Coach Hallett's probably, or Coach Emmert's probably going to settle him down a little bit and say, listen, when you've got some guy that wide open, just settle, you know, because he can throw it. I mean, two of the scores have been, you know, balls right on target. So just his consistency. But yeah, I think Carroll's playing as well as they played all season.
Well, the Saints are averaging 297 yards of offense. They already have 233 in the first half with that 17-0 lead. And, you know, Ali's looking good, averaging 9 yards a carry on 10 attempts, 90 yards. Ryan Walsh looking good. They haven't got, we don't have Ryan Arnson in there, but Arnson is into double digits rushing as well. But overall, a very nice first half for the Saints, and it started, you know, they got the first ball or possession, they went down and were held to a punt, but then a field goal that made it 3-0, a touchdown pass to Walsh that was set up by another long pass to Walsh, and he was a game-time decision coming in. We weren't sure if he was even going to suit up, and he looks really good. And then an interception going into the end zone, but then a 7-play, 60-yard drive culminated with Walsh with his second touchdown of the day, this one on the running variety. And the Saints have held Northern to an interception by Drew Meldon, a missed field goal, a punt, and a punt.
Yeah, they played good defense and they played good offense. And I think really the tail of the tape, very simply, is this. When you look at Major Ali's averaging 9 yards a carry, Jason, 9 yards a carry. Walsh is 6 yards a carry and Dawson's 5. But when you go and look on defense, guess who's leading on defense?
Tucker.
Reese Quady.
Oh, Reese Quady.
Yeah.
There you go.
The linebacker.
Well, and I know you.
I differ from Coach Van
differ
Diest
from Coach Van Diest, who thought, you know, it's okay for a safety to, the way that their scheme is set up, for the safety to be the leading tackler. And I mentioned in the pregame interview with him that, you know, Kane Ione made a living, and it was a Big Sky Conference MVP at Montana State as a safety, was a leading tackler for the Cats. He's in their top, you know, record books. But with Quady, and then you've got safety Galt, and then another linebacker in Bernhardt, and another linebacker in Anderson, your leading tacklers. So 3 of the 4 are linebackers.
Exactly, and I think that's what they've been wanting, and that's, you know, they've been a little, maybe not where they want to be all the time, but they are today. And I think this is a pretty good offense. I think Northern puts a pretty good offense on the field, you know. But again, as far as the Frontier is concerned this year, I think the question mark is defense, because I don't think anybody in the league has a lights-out, shut-down, knock-you-out defense. And they've been there the last couple of years, but I don't see it this year.
Well, and we haven't seen, you know, majority of the teams, but when you look at the scores each week, you know, there's a lot of offense and a lot of yards and a lot of points being put up across the Frontier. You know, the surprise for me is Western's only averaging like 80 yards per game, and they've got Hunter Thompson at running back. He should be averaging 180 yards per game. But we'll see Western later in the season. We are at halftime. We'll take a break. We'll come back and give you the stats. It is 17-0 on the Sandy Mac scoreboard. The Saints over the lights. This is Carroll College football on ESPN Radio.
Ready for the Beavers? They're 21-point favorites. I think Oregon State's going to cover the spread. I think Wazoo's going to beat by like 18. I think Falk's going to. He's going to shred. Regardless, he's going to figure it out, and they're going to win. I could also see it 63 to 21. I don't think they're as our defense is.
$17-0 halftime. Carroll College in the lead, and when you look at the stats, Northern with 10 first downs. They've been able to move the ball. 15 carries, just 37 yards. 12 of 20 passing for 118, so they've run 35 plays for 155 yards. 3 kick returns for 46 yards, an interception for no return. 3 punts for Sam Tapia, averaging 35.7. 4 penalties, 35 yards. Northern with the ball, 10 minutes, 6 seconds. Blanchard, the leading rusher, 6 carries, 31 yards, averaging 5.2 yards per carry. B.J. Peters, 5 for 5. Michael McKean, I don't know who he is. I don't remember him running the ball, but 1 carry for 2 yards. Wilson, 12 of 20 passing, an interception, 118 yards, no touchdowns. Bumgarner leading the way, 2 catches for 28. Williams, 2 for 25. Remily, 2 for 17. Leading tackler is DeQuincy Bergen with 9 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Deveray Chris has 5 tackles, along with Jake Norby for MSU Northern. For Carroll College, 14 first downs, 24 carries, 143 yards. 5 of 13 passing for 90. 37 plays for the Saints, 233 overall yards. 1 punt return for 5 yards. They had an interception for no return. One punt for Dylan Torgerson at 45 yards. Saints held the ball 17-22. No penalties for Carroll in that first half. Ali, 10 carries, 90 yards, leading the way. Ryan Walsh, 7 for 42. Gustafson's 5 for 13 passing, an interception, a touchdown for 90 yards. Well, the touchdown didn't go for 90 yards. He's overall 90 yards. Sipes, 3 catches, 53 yards. Walsh, 1 for 20 and a touchdown. He actually has two catches. Kyle Pierce with a catch as well. Ryan Bollier, 1 punt return. Reese Quady, the leading tackler, with 7. And the Saints got on the board first with a field goal, and then after a missed field goal by Northern, a long pass to Ryan Walsh set up this 19-yard touchdown pass from Tanner Gustafson. And then after another punt for MSU Northern, the Saints marched the ball, 7 plays, 60 yards. Took 2 minutes and 21 seconds off the clock, and Walsh with his second touchdown of the day. And that made it 17-0 at that point. And Greg, it's right. You know, like I said earlier, we didn't know if Walsh was even going to play today.
Exactly. That's what is really funny about this. But boy, did he come to play, because he was all the offense in the first half, catching and running the ball, and he's running hard. So whatever was bothering whatever was bothering him is not bothering him now. So nice outing for him, and a spark plug by Drew Melton. I mean, really, that team fed off of his energy, and that was a big interception, because Northern had a good drive, and they probably would have gone down and scored. It looked like they were going to score.
One thing you mentioned in the pregame show was, who is that star for Carroll that's going to emerge and take over? Well, you've got a couple. You've got Melton on the defensive side with the interception. He's playing great. He's had a couple of pass breakups as well. And then Walsh and Ali both on the running the football. Yeah,
they're playing well. You know, and the unsung heroes probably is the offensive line has control of it. But, you got to look back at 2 big plays by Drew Melton, right? So they're driving on, Northern's driving on Carroll. They're pushing the ball. They're doing all these things. Melton does a great job of turning around at the last minute, makes a big interception, has to fight for the ball. That's a big turning point. And then on a transition down, after Carroll goes up 17-0, Jason, then they push the ball on a big post route. First time the ball was in the middle of the field by Wilson. And who's the corner that breaks it up?
No.
Exactly.
You wanted me to answer that?
I wanted you.
Well,
I pitched it to you, and you're just running a little bit slow. Maybe a little bit of water in your gas tank today, but might have to clear that out a little bit. But yeah, no, he's done. And interesting too. You know, at the beginning of the broadcast, when you're talking to Coach Van Diest and asking him who are emerging leaders, he brings up Drew Melton, right? So
well, he's been high on him for a couple of years. He had that injury last year, and he's back, he's healthy, and he's playing really well.
And I liked the way he brought the energy off the field. I really think that this team needs to find that energy, because that's what propels you forward. That's the fun part of, that's why, energy really is why there are so many lights on in Vegas. If there was no energy at the crap table, there would be no crap table. I mean, it's just, you can write that down. That's a very philosophical part. I'm getting deep now. I don't want to get that deep, but I am. But no, on a serious note, the energy has not been there, and it needs to be there, and it looks like it's there today, and they need to sustain it and finish a good game.
Checking some other scores in the Frontier. 11th ranked Eastern Oregon. This was Barry Fout's upset special of the week, trailing at the half at College of Idaho, 14-10. At the half in Dillon, number 14 Southern Oregon 31, Western 7. Western has not been able to get it going this year so far. And 5th ranked Tech in Billings leads at the half over Rocky, 20-0. So there's your update across the Frontier. We'll take a final break. We'll come back with a halftime over and the third quarter set to begin. On the Sandy Mac scoreboard, it's the Saints 17, the Lights nothing. Back after this. This is Carroll College football on ESPN Radio. How much time, Kenny? Good set to start the second half here at Nelson Stadium. Carroll College leading 17-0 on the Sandy Max scoreboard. Jason Walker along with Greg Upham. Thanks for listening here on ESPN Radio. Also, welcoming our fans joining us on the Carroll Athletics YouTube channel for the first time as the kick from Dylan Torgerson sails to Blanchard. Blanchard up across the 35, a flag comes in. And we'll wait to see what that was, but a nice kick return there by Blanchard up across the 40 as Northern will have the first possession, and that's usually an illegal block.
Not one flag, but two flags, Jason. So either the two officials saw the same thing or each official saw their own.
Well, they must have saw the same thing, but it'll back it up, and Northern will have a 1st and 10. A couple of birthdays we wanted to wish. Brian Coble, the head athletic trainer at Carroll, it's his birthday today. Yesterday was Dan Marino's birthday and also Mrs. Van Diest's birthday. And I got a funny story about that in a second. But also,
we have a birthday behind us,
yeah,
too.
Joe Kiefer, one of the Stats boys. Happy birthday.
Joe Kiefer. So if there's
his family, of course, are listening, I'm sure.
Dating anyone over in the, maybe take you to dinner or something tonight, Joe? I mean, what?
Pass complete out on the right side for Wilhelm.
We can help. We can try and work for you, buddy.
So 2nd and 10, or 2nd down and 5 rather. Check that. 2nd down and 3 coming up for Northern. Just underway here. Saints leading 17-0.
Northern's done a nice job on 1st down, Jason. They really have put themselves in some good situations, but Carroll's been able to balance up to them.
Trips to the right, hand off to Blanchard. He waits for the hole to open up, and it does, and he's across the 35. He'll have a 1st down for Northern.
You know, they say in the zone concept, you're going to run into a zone of an area, and you have to be patient to do it. He is extremely patient and just waits for seams to develop.
1st and 10 Northern, just a minute gone by here in the 3rd quarter. Carroll leading at 17-0 on the strength of a Ryan Walsh touchdown reception and a Ryan Walsh touchdown run. 2 receivers right, 2 left. Wilson back to pass across the middle of the field, and it's behind his receiver, and it's knocked away by Melton. And
Guess
it's
who?
maybe a good thing that Wilhelm didn't catch that because he was about ready to take a shot, but Melton, you know, that ball was thrown behind Wilhelm, and Melton was trailing Wilhelm, and it was thrown behind Melton even. That's how off target Wilson was, and it's 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, it's only the 2nd time he's gone to the middle of the field with a pass, too. He just not comfortable throwing the ball in the middle.
He'll pass out to the near side, and it's caught by Marvin Williams, who came in as the leading receptor for Northern.
Here we
He's
go.
at the 40, so it's 3rd and 5 for Northern.
3rd and 5, opening series. Defense always has a goal. 3 and out on stop the ball coming out in the 2nd half. He's gone after his big receivers on the edge for 1st down plays.
Ball in the near left hash mark. Wilson flushed. He'll tuck it. He'll run, and he'll be stopped about 1.5 yards shy of the 1st down. And it'll be a punt coming up for Northern. So it wasn't 3 and out, but it was close, and it'll be a punt coming up for the Lights.
Yeah, he had good pressure, and I'll tell you what, here's a perfect down. I didn't
they're
think
gonna
they'd
go
punt
for
the
it.
ball. I think they're going to try and draw them off sides, or they're going to go for it. One or the other. So
4th and a long 2, and we're going to get a timeout taken by the Saints.
I thought they might go for it.
So that helps Northern.
They're down 17-0. Midfield, 4th and 2, 4th and 3. You know, Carroll hasn't been in this beginning part of the season, Jason. They have not been in this situation very often where they've had to stop a 4th down play at midfield, 4th and short.
They haven't had a 4th down against them all year. They're number 1 in the nation. Is a completion percentage of perfect because
conversion percentage.
Nobody's tried. We get a timeout on the field. 13-12 to go in the third quarter. It's the Saints 17, the Lights nothing. Back in a minute. You're listening to Carroll College Football on ESPN Radio. Come back cold. Fourth and 2, Northern. 13-12 to go here in the third. Carroll takes a timeout. We'll see what Northern has drawn up. They're at the Lights 43-yard line. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. The ball in the near left hash mark. We'll see if they try to run the play or try to draw the Saints off sides. They're going to try to run the play. Blanchard takes the handoff, hit behind the line of scrimmage,
get it either.
and brought down at the 45-yard line. He's a half a yard shy. A great defensive stand there by the Saints front line. They got penetration, and Blanchard had nowhere to go.
And Peyton Sexy out of Great Falls he is fired up. Boy, I'll tell you what. You don't get that fired up in Great Falls unless somebody gave you a free Howard's Pizza. He is very, very, very excited.
So the Saints will take over at the Lights 44.5-yard line, leading 17-0 with 13:07 to go in the third.
If Connor Phone was on the field, I'll guarantee you where the ball was going.
2 tight ends set. They'll hand it off to Ryan Walsh. He skips up to the 41-yard line. So second down and 6 coming up for Carroll College.
A nice run stop there, Jason, by Carroll, and they did it with their defensive front. So their front having a decent day today. Big sack on a third down, 1 good fourth down conversion hold midfield. That's a heck of a gamble by Coach Christensen too, let me tell you.
Second sack of the day of the year for Carroll earlier in the first half. Northern yet to have a sack this season. Gustafson from the gun hands it off to Ali. Again, a big hole right up the middle. That's then the Saints' main source of offense has been gashing it right up the middle. Another first down.
Yeah, Northern can't seem to shut down the faucet on the 2 A gaps because Major Ali has had a career day.
First and 10 Saints, 12-12 to play in the third. Carroll leading at 17-0 as the Saints move left to right. Nice bright sunshiny day. Clouds starting to burn off a little bit. It's nice not having smoke thanks to Mother Nature's rainstorm this week. Gustafson, he fell down. He tripped over Ali as he completed that pass. It was a quick out to Sipes.
Well, I'll tell you what.
He's across the 30 to the 28, but Gustafson slipped. It looked like on Ali's foot as Ali went up the middle.
Yeah, I'm impressed with Sipes, aren't you?
I have been, yeah.
He's really starting to settle in. He being Gustafson is really starting to settle in to Sipes. Sipes has caught some good balls, and he doesn't go down. You know, he's a freshman out of California, and playing like he's from Walkerville and Butte.
Second down and 5, 11:25 to go in the third. Handoff, Walsh. He's going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage, a loss of 2, back to the 31. So that one, the Northern Lights strung it out, read it perfect. Fowler in there, and he's got some great hair.
You know, I think if I let my hair grow from the time I was 2 months old, it wouldn't get that long.
Well, it definitely ain't growing now.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Growing gray.
Appreciate the support.
It's all about the love. 3rd and 7. Big play for the Saints. The ball in the near right hash mark. 2 receivers, top side left. 1 split out to the near right. That's Chase Fossum, who's had a up and down career as Gustafson flush, tucks, dips, dives, across the 30, gets back to the 28-yard line. It'll be 4th down for Carroll. They're going to go for it, or you try a long field goal here for Torgerson, and it looks like they're going to try to go for it.
I don't think Torgerson's strong enough, big enough leg to hit it.
I've seen him hit 50, 60-yarders in this stadium.
Yeah, he only kicks off to about the 10, though.
No, he's got the leg. I've seen him do it when he was working out with my son last summer. 4th down, Gustafson. Pass is off the mark, and so he took a shot as Tyler Pallas, a 6'1", 210-pound freshman from Chehalis, Washington, came in and leveled Gustafson, but it's a turnover on downs for Carroll.
Oh, 4th down for 4th down, Jason.
So the Saints...
Northern doesn't really suffer much from trying for that 4th down. They get the ball back at the 29.
Yeah, Carroll moved 15 yards, and Northern has a 1st and 10. 10:05 to go, 3rd quarter. Carroll still leading 17-0. Wilson back out there with 3 wide receivers, 2 right, 1 left. B.J. Peters in the backfield. Wilson slaps his hands. Here comes the snap, looking deep down middle of the field, and he underthrows his intended receiver, Garner. So it'll be 2nd and 10. How about the game Seth Schneider had for the Capital Bruins? Accounted for all 5 touchdowns. The Bruins now 4-0. 4 rushing, which ties a school record. 5 total touchdowns, which is now a new school record. I can't remember whose record he tied. Todd Nelson from 2003. Wilson on 2nd and 10, passes out to the right side. It's completed to Williams, and he sprints up across the 35 to the 36.5-yard line. It'll be 3rd and short coming up for the Lights.
I got to watch him play when Flathead was in town, and he's impressive, Jason. I mean, he's a real deal. He's big and he's fast.
And
too.
if it wasn't for Ryan Arnson last year, Schneider could have been the best running back in the state, and he's also a Helena IR Superstater as far as a linebacker. He plays both ways.
Yeah,
he's really good.
I saw that, but I was really impressed by how well he ran the ball.
And he's got help this year. So 3rd and 2. Wilson passes out to the right side, and it's off of the back of Melton, and Garner almost came down with it, but it'll be 4th down, and this is a for sure punt for Sam Tapia. Tapia, junior, 6 foot 180 out of Carlsbad, California. Sends Boulier back deep. So 9:25 to go in the quarter, and the Saints up 17-0, and they'll get it back.
Boulier out of Las Vegas.
Low snap, one hopper into Tapia's hands, and it's a very short, wobbly punt. It's going to bounce at the Saints 42 and be downed right there. He didn't get a good rhythm out, and then we got a flag down. We'll see what the call is before.
Be a hold probably on.
Well, they should probably stop the clock. Clock continues to tick off. They've ticked off a good 15 seconds. Stop the clock, guys.
Yeah, something.
It's still tipping.
Uh-oh.
The foul is on. The penalty is on Carroll.
The officials. It's still running. The clock is running.
They finally get it stopped at 8:45, but there should be about 9:05 left.
About 15 minutes left.
Yeah. So nobody noticed it. I can't believe that. There's usually one official that's always watching the play clock and the game clock.
Yep.
And he didn't even catch it. He might have been the one that threw the flag. The penalty on Carroll, so back it up to the
I think the
27.
Clock really should be, Jason, probably 9 minutes and some odd seconds.
Yeah, it should be over about 9:10. because they ticked a long time off there. But it's 1st and 10 Carroll. Nobody noticed, so this if,
I guess we
if
noticed.
Northern can make a comeback and might run out of time, literally. Gustafson, 3 receivers to his right. He'll hand it off. Ali up to the 30. Bowls his way ahead to the 34-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 3 coming up for Carroll.
They've had good success running behind Pays and Emter. 6'4", 290, 6'4", 302. You know, if you're 302, why wouldn't you just say 305? 302? How much you at? 302.
And a half.
302.5. Oh.
2nd down and 4 officially with 8:15 to play in the third. Carroll leading 17-0 on the Sandy Mac scoreboard. 4 wide receivers, 2 on either side of Tanner Gustafson. Passes out near side. It is caught by Kyle Pierce. Kyle Pierce, the freshman, getting a lot of playing time with Connor Phone and Troy Arnson both being out of the lineup. And it's enough for a 1st down up to the 39, and that's where Carroll has it with 8 minutes to play in the third. And now a Northern player, he tried to get off the field and then dropped between the hash marks and the yardage marker, and we're going to get a timeout on the field. 7:59 to play in the third. Your score on the Sandy Mac scoreboard. It's the Saints 17, the Lights nothing. Back in 1 minute. This is Carroll College football on ESPN Radio. Carroll College football brought to you in part by Placer Motors. Your Helena Subaru dealer is Placer Motors, family owned for over 75 years. Intermountain Heating and Air Conditioning, your independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. Furniture Showroom, why pay more? Every day is a great day to buy new home furnishings at Furniture Showroom. BMC on Highway 12 East. Come see the newly remodeled Design Center. And John Lagerquist Realtor, your voice in real estate. 7:59 to play in the third, 17-0. Carroll in the lead. They have a 1st and 10 at their own 39-yard line. Trips to the left. Now one receiver comes in motion. That's Paul Hart. He'll set up next to the tight end, and Gustafson takes the snap, hands it off to Walsh, who is immediately swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. There was 4 lights in there. By the way, the injured light was Steven Fernandez, a linebacker, walked off with a little bit of help, but nice to see him get up and off the field on his own power.
So would you call that lights out or one light off? With one of their players leaving, you say one light off. Somebody turned the light off.
Somebody turned the light off, yeah. 2nd and 10. 7.5 to play in the third. 4-man pressure for the Lights. Gustafson back to pass. Has time, now flushed. Tucks it, trips it, runs it up to the 42-yard line. 3rd and 7 coming up for Gustafson and the offense.
Not starting out in their series like they like to. They couldn't get that second medium. And
well, and Northern's been doing a nice job of getting pressure. Started later in that first half, but more here in that second half. That front line is starting to get, penetration.
They had to do something to close those A gaps because they were being, as you said, gashed in that. And if they get this 3-man front again, and without Ali in there, I don't think they have to worry about it.
3rd and 7. Gustafson back to pass, comes near side, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jared Lucas. He's got running room, breaks the tackle at the 20, still on his feet to the 15, and sets up the Lights with great field position at the 16-yard line. Mike Van Dies talking to Tanner Gustafson, not happy with that throw, but you know what? Lucas did a nice job jumping the route, came right underneath and picked it off.
Played pure zone coverage, so he could see Tanner loading the ball from the very beginning, and he telegraphed that out route, that's for sure. So nice play by the corner. And I'll tell you what, if it turns into a 7-17 game, Jason, it'll be a game. Because if you remember right, when Northern came in, that opening drive, they moved the ball at will.
Well, they've been doing it all day. They just kicked themselves. 6:27 to play in the third, and Northern takes over at the Saints' 16-yard line, trailing 17-0. Trips to the near side left. The ball on the near left hash mark. Wilson with Peters in the backfield. He'll hand it off to Peters. And he'll be hit behind the line of scrimmage. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. Not sure who that was. It looked like David Anderson yet again.
Nice job by David Anderson. Boy, I'll tell you what, he's had a nice day today. He just framed that up and away he went.
And he stood there waiting to see which way Peters was going to go, and then he went and chased after him, and it's 2nd and 10. So we hit the 6-minute mark of the third quarter. Again, 3 receivers.
Wilson looking to the sideline to see what play he wants to run.
Snaps the ball. Passing to the right side, and it's tipped and almost still hauled in out there by Remley.
Melton stepped underneath that, actually tipped the ball up over the top, but Remley almost caught it. So brings up a big third down play.
Third and 10.
Northern hasn't done, Jason, is they haven't gone back to their big tight end. They did early in the game, and that tight end gave them fits against Rocky. So we'll see if they bring the tight end across the middle here. Defensive front has to get some pressure.
4 wide, 3rd and 10. 5:50 to play, third quarter. Wilson audibilizes, 7 on the play clock. Here comes the pass. He throws to the far corner of the end zone, and it's incomplete.
And no pass interference.
Williams wanted pass interference, but the ball was short, and a nice job. I think that was Ryan Bollier out there. No, that's not Ryan Bollier.
Oh, here
Parker
comes
Bernhardt. And so now Northern on for a field goal. Tommy Langley 0 for 3 on the year. This one.
He was out warming up at halftime. He kicked some big field goals there. So this is what, a 37-yarder? 33-yarder from the left hash.
5:44 on the clock. 17-0 Carroll. Northern has missed 1 field goal. The ball down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So Northern finally on the board, but a great defensive stand by the Saints after the interception, giving Northern great field position by Lucas, and the Saints defense hold them to a field goal. That's a win for Mike Van Dies.
They really did. They had good pressure out of their defensive front and nice coverage, and so really limiting Wilson's ability to throw the ball all day long, Jason. He has not had much success throwing the ball anywhere on the field.
So a 3-play drive that goes no yards and a 33-yard field goal for MSU Northern. And the Saints will get their kick return unit out there. Sipes and Arnson back deep. Hoffman, McGree, a couple of big blocking tight ends right next to Arnson and Sipes, just in front of them. And normally, this is a different type of formation you see on kick returns for Carroll. Instead of 2 guys standing parallel to each other, they stagger them, and they also stagger the blockers. Normally you see a lot of parallel, every 10 yards, and Carroll has a staggering formation. It's different.
Well, sometimes when they stagger that, they'll force the kicker to kick it to 1 instead of kick away. But also when they're staggered like that, it means that the kickoff kicker usually that can't get the ball deep in the end zone. So
well, we've seen it all 3 games so far for Carroll. I kind of like it. And speaking of staggered, you can join us at the Staggering Ox. Monday nights at 5 for the rundown. Stick around for the Fighting Saints Sports Zone at 6. You can also listen here on ESPN Radio, ESPNMontana.com. The Staggering Ox, our home, Monday nights from 5 to 7. Here's the kick. It'll be taken by Sipes on the run. He drops it at the 15, picks it up at the 17. Has a hole. He's got a lane across the 40. Cuts it to the sideline.
He's going to take it all the way.
To the 30, the 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Carroll College.
Boy, I'll tell you, that timed up perfect for him, didn't it? And no flags on the field, no laundry. Boy, we were just saying how impressed we were with them and the energy. What a nice return out of Sipes. Their kicking game has been good too. It has been good.
Well, that could have gone real bad for Carroll in a hurry after Sipes dropped it.
Is that the first time we've seen Sipes deep, Jason?
No, he does it all. He's been the main guy.
Return guy?
Yep.
Well, that timed up perfect.
Torgerson on for the extra point. But again, that could have gone real bad in a real big hurry after Sipes dropped it on the run. He picked it up at the 16 and then took off. He got a great hole. And Torgerson gives the Saints a 24-3 lead. 5:26 to play in the third on the Sandy Max scoreboard. We're back in 1 minute. You're listening to Carroll College football on ESPN Radio. Come cold. Dylan Torgerson kicks it off after the 85-yard touchdown on a kickoff. Williams takes it at the 10, gets up across the 25 to the 27-yard line. 5:18 left, third quarter. Carroll now leading 24-3, and we've been waiting for a while for the Saints to get a punt return or a kick return for a touchdown. And Sipes, after dropping it near the 15, picked it up and then just took straight off up the right side, and he was gone.
6'2", 190.
And he outran everybody.
He sure did. Straight out of Newberry Park, California, Newberry Park High School.
First and 10 Northern, trailing 24-3. And Tommy Wilson takes the snap, throws near side. It's caught by Kagan Kamana, 6'3" senior out of Missoula. A gain.
Big fill by Tucker Johnson, safety out of Billings.
Gain of 2, so second down and 8 from the 30.
He looks like a safety too, doesn't he? I mean, he just like a guided missile.
Three-man front with linebacker Anderson creeping up. It's actually Craig Kine creeping up. The pass out to the right side. Caught, immediately tackled is the receiver. Camus Thomas. And it'll be 3rd and 3 for the Lights with 4:21 to play here in the third, trailing 24-3.
I kind of like Trey Blanchard here a little bit to kind of weave his way through there, but
ball on the far right hash mark. Blanchard takes the handoff. Hit behind the line of scrimmage.
Carroll getting that figured out.
What they're doing is bringing, one of the linebackers off the right side of the defense, and getting pressure to the left side.
Coming underneath. Actually, that was Tucker Johnson, coming down hard. No, that was Barnhart coming down hard.
Barnhart's had a great game.
He really has. He's coming off the weak side. He's a Willie linebacker. Willie stands for W.
Sam
Weak.
Tapia back deep, or ready on to punt as Boulier back deep. It stands at his own 35. Didn't have a great punt last time. This one a little bit better. End over end. It's going to hit, take a Northern bounce. Boulier is going to pick it up at the 22 and tries to cut it back, and then finally is going to be brought down by Peters along with Dakota Schelling, a senior from Fallon, Nevada.
Yeah, coaches don't like to see that much dancing going on unless they're in a club in Vegas. But here on the field, get up the field or off the field, but don't dance.
So 24-3, Carroll takes over. 3:20 to play here in the third. Saints offense hasn't been out on the field a whole lot thanks to the kick return. We got another penalty on Carroll. So after not having a flag at all in the first half, I think that's 3 now here in the second half.
2 on kicking game, Jason.
Back it up to the 18-yard line. 1st and 10, Saints leading 24-3.
We'll see if they can get that A gap reestablished. Ali in the game. They haven't been able to do it much of the third quarter, so we'll see if we can go after it again.
Gustafson, handoff. Ali off the left tackle. Still on his feet across the 25 down to the 28-yard line. It'll be enough for a first down for Major Ali and the Saints.
Just moved that inside zone play over one gap. Did you see that, Jason? Usually they've been running an A gap with Ali. They moved him to the B gap that time. Of course, it's his decision to make. A great pickup. 10 yards.
3 minutes to go in the third. 24-3 Carroll. 2 receivers left. Gustafson in the shotgun. Again, the handoff to Ali. This time hit at the line of scrimmage. He'll still dive forward for a nice gain of about 4.5, 5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Yeah, and this is what they like to do, right? This is the old hammer and hammer and hammer at you, and they got a back they can do it with. I don't think you're going to wear him out.
Walsh in, Ali out. And it's 2nd down and 4, gain of 6 officially with 2:32 to play here in the third. Carroll leading 24-3. Walsh in the backfield with Gustafson. He's got 2 receivers left, 1 to the near side right. Walsh takes the handoff across the 40. It's enough for a first down to the 41. So 3 straight runs here by the Saints.
Yeah, and this is what they want to do. They're up 24-3, 2:17 to go in the third quarter. They're averaging about probably 8 yards a carry on first down, and why not? Pretty soon the hands will go on the hips. You can see 3 players with their hands on the hips for the lights. They've already had 1 light turned off.
1st and 10, just under 2 minutes to go here in the third. Play action pass, the toss out to the far side of the field, and the pass complete. I think that's Sipes, and it's 2nd down and 6 for the Saints.
Well, it's kind of a Sipes kind of day, kind of a Melton kind of day, kind of a Walsh kind of day.
Well, and I shouldn't have worn my black shirt because I'm melting here. 90 seconds to play in the third. Ali back in. 3 wide receivers. Ball in the far left hash mark, 2nd down and 6 from the 46. It's actually 2nd and 5 as Ali through the line, across the 50, across the 45, down to the 44 before he's brought down. It's another first down, and DeQuincy Bergen in on the stop, the sophomore from Houston, Texas.
Boy, and there's nothing you can do about that either. You just, when you're playing against that and it just keeps pounding at you, you get that real run-down feeling, like someone just ran over you.
Ryan Arnson checks in with under a minute to play here in the quarter. Saints looking to add on a 24-3 lead.
You're going to try and hit the edge with him again, too. You're going to see, there's Dawson on the wing. Here he comes in motion.
Dawson in motion from left to right. Sets up behind Chris Emter. Handoff, Arnson. Tries to get around the corner. He does. He's across the 40 and then drug out of bounds at the 35-yard line. It's a yard shy of the first down. It'll be 2nd and 1 with 33 seconds to play here in the third.
See, I think you have to leave him in and give him about 2 or 3 reps. And he just, as he gets better, the more he's in the game. And that's going to be a challenge because they've got 3 legitimate running backs, to keep, as you had said, to keep everyone happy. And I just think he gets better as the game goes on.
Sipes, Fossum, Hart split out wide left. Ali on 2nd and short as Hart comes in motion. Handoff to Ali. Hit at the line of scrimmage. He'll have the first down maybe, and we'll know when we come back. It's the end of the third quarter. Your score on the Sandy Max scoreboard, it's the Saints 24, the Lights 3. We'll figure out if it's 3rd or 4th or 1st
I might call for
when we come back in
There
1
he
minute. This is Carroll College football. We'll let you know what the decision is on ESPN Radio. Good set to start the fourth quarter here at Nelson Stadium. Carroll College on their way to their first win of the season, leading 24-3 over MSU Northern. The decision was made on the measurement, and it'll be 3rd and short for Carroll College from the Lights' 35-yard line. So the big boys will go out. You got Walsh, Ali, Gustafson, Dawson, Hoffman. You got 2 tight ends out there.
Double tight I. Major is the fullback.
It's
Walsh
4th
is the tailback.
and 1, I beg your pardon. Gustafson turns, hands it off. Walsh will have the first down and more. He's across the 30 to the 25 before finally being brought down at the 24-yard line. The tackle made by Bergen once again, and it's a first down for Carroll.
Double tight ISO. Just a straight ISO run. Come back to Major Ali. I'm sure they'll give it to him up the middle, whether he chooses to run the A gap or the B gap. That's what they're going to do.
Hart brings in the play. Now he splits out wide to the right, along with Sipes. Dawson and McGree, tight ends, both lined up on the left side. Gustafson hands it off to Ali. Splits it back up into the middle. He's across the 20 down to the 15 and brought down at the 13-yard line. It's another first down for the Saints.
He just made a nice little jump cut, boy. He's learning to run inside. He's growing up.
Unofficially, Carroll up to 205 yards rushing, by far their best performance of the season. Over 300 yards total offense. Came in averaging 297, so right about that mark. With just under 13:50 to play here in the third, Saints up 24-3 and looking for more. Gustafson with Arnson in the backfield. Hart in motion. Handoff Arnson. And
Northern jumped
stuff for a huge loss.
Northern jumped into that. You remember the old Bear 46 front where they have a nose guard, and then both tackles, their defensive tackles or defensive ends, are lined up over the guards. So Coach Christensen or Luke, their defensive coordinator, Jake Eldridge, just frankly said, I'm not going to let you run the A-gaps any longer.
3rd and 3 for the Saints at the 16-yard line. 2 wide out to the right. Ali back in now with Gustafson. He stands just to his left. Ali does. They'll hand it off to Ali. He'll be hit. He'll have the first down. He spins across the 10 to the 9-yard line as he took Morgan McCrary with him. Another injured light, slow to get up, and finally he does. That's Josh Wright, the 6'2", 240-pound sophomore, but the Saints with a 1st and goal now inside the 10.
It's just his power. You see that, like I said earlier, you just don't tackle him one-on-one. You can't. He has a low center of gravity, and he's loaded. He's a powerful, powerful young man.
I don't remember his mom's name. I'm just going to call her Mama Major.
Call her Mom. I hope she appreciates that, and I hope Ollie appreciates that too, because either one of them will come and beat you up.
Well, his mom is an absolute angel. Handoff again to Ali. This time he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage. An ankle tackle made by Jake Norby.
Yeah, that was a little bit slower getting off. I mean, he might be getting a little bit tired too, but that wasn't normally his get off, and that tackle came from behind the line of scrimmage, actually.
Ankle tackle made by the freshman Norby out of Chinook, a sugar beater. 12 minutes to go in the ball game. Saints up 24-3.
Boy, they've had some success, haven't they, Jason? The Chinook Sugar Beaters, didn't they win a state championship 2 years ago?
Sure.
Yeah, beating a lot of sugar up there.
Gustafson, 2nd and goal from the 11. Handoff Walsh, drugged down by Dylan Kelly, freshman out of Mesa, Arizona.
You notice that they have not called Tanner Gustafson's pass play since his 3rd interception. I'm sure that he is currently in timeout. It's a friendly way of saying you're in trouble.
Well, the way they're running, they don't have to pass.
Now, there was no timeout when I was growing up. None. It was just whack.
I can tell. 3rd and goal from the 7. 11-11 to play. Saints up 24-3. Hart in motion.
One of the plays
Now he stops, handoff, Ali off the right side. Major cuts it back up across the 5 and into the end zone. Prince Ali, yes, it is he, scoring a touchdown.
He ran that well, didn't he? Ran it outside. They call it a power scheme where the entire offensive line blocks down, and then he's got a lead blocker that kicks the end man of line of scrimmage out. He just stepped underneath that block and just went forward. No way a corner or safety is going to bring him down in one shot. No way.
Torgerson on for the extra point. Give the Saints a 28-point lead. Polson to hold, Barnett to snap. The ball is down, the kick is on the way, and it is good. 11:01 to play in the ball game. It's the Saints 31, the Lights 3 on the Sandy Mac scoreboard. We're back in a minute. This is Carroll College football on ESPN Radio. .11:01 to go. Saints up 31-3 on the Sandy Mac scoreboard. Jason Walker, Greg Upham mentioned yesterday was Mrs. Van Diest's birthday. Happy birthday to Heidi. I was in the office. Nick Howlett walked out and said, you know who else's birthday it is? And Coach Van Diest said, it's Heidi's birthday. And he goes, no, it's Dan Marino's. We should get him like some isotoners. And then Coach Howlett's little daughter, Brooke, said, told Coach Van Diest what to get Mrs. Van Diest for the birthday present, a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, I think that's thoughtful.
And Coach Howlett then said, Brooke, you're going to learn that that's not really a good gift to give to a lady.
Yeah, you can give it one time, and then you don't ever give it again.
Exactly.
So make sure it's a good vacuum.
31-3 as Torgerson's kick taken at the 6, dropped by Blanchard. He picks it up with his right hand. Now he shifts it to his left, runs to the far side, and he's tackled out of bounds. Carroll College football brought to you in part by Helena Community Credit Union. They believe in you. One person, one family, one community. A1 Rentals on Cedar next to Party Plus. Meineke, your veteran-owned and operated car care center. Three Brothers Plumbing and Heating, professionals who care. Three Brothers is there. Cascade Farmers Mutual Insurance. When disaster strikes, you want to know there's someone to fall back on and something. That's Cascade Farmers Mutual Insurance. And Eagle Tire Complete Automotive around town since 1976. So 10:50 to play. Saints up 31-3. And Northern looking to get into the end zone any way they can. And Wilson's going to launch it deep. That ball is 5 yards overthrown on the far sideline. Intended out there for Sam Mix. You know, and you remember the story from Sam Mix that was told last year.
Yeah, boy.
Got stabbed, an unfortunate situation there in Havre. Him and a couple of Northern girls were unfortunately taken advantage of. They were attacked. You know, he still he still doesn't have a whole lot of feeling in his hands from being stabbed over 15 times. But he's back out there playing. He played here again, and he has the catch on the far sideline. And it's nice to see the junior from Sammamish, Washington, back out there on the field.
Boy, I guess. What an ordeal. We've got
flag coming in well after the play. Personal foul on Northern, but yeah, it's great to see him out there and the story, the recovery, him and both girls, and they're doing well.
Yeah, we missed Julianne. She was the one that did those stories for us, and I don't know what she's doing now, but
she's working. She does the morning news anchoring, but now she's working on sports on the weekends, giving her a chance on camera to get a job back east. That's what she wants to do. We tried to get her back, but
Well, she's not working with the level of talent that she worked with the last few years with us, and hopefully that doesn't hold her back, but everybody has to make their decisions, I'm sure.
3rd and 15, back at the 13 after the personal foul on the Lights. 10:38 to go. Northern trailing Carroll 31-3. Trips to the near side right. Wilson back to pass. Pressure comes. Holding flag goes down. He throws it. It's caught and then dropped by Mix, but it's not going to matter anyway because it's going to be a hold. And the Saints are going to decline this one and make Northern punt it away.
So we've seen more pressure on the quarterback in this game too, and the offensive line for Northern is breaking down for sure. And good pressure by Carroll. They'll decline that penalty, and Carroll gets the ball at midfield.
Major Ali is up to 19 carries, 151 yards, averaging 7.9 yards per carry, and has a touchdown in this ball game.
Yeah, and I'd be curious to see how many yards he has after first hit too, because most of them are coming from there. They're getting a hand on him, but they can't bring him down.
You know, tapas are pretty good to eat at a restaurant, but Tapia has not been a great punter here for the Lights. This one, a wobbly kick, sends Boulier to the 50. Doesn't make a fair catch signal. Takes it. He's still on the feet up to the 45 to the 40. You know, the fans are going to applaud that, but Mike Van Diest is not going to enjoy that at all.
No, he's getting a little too dangerous. Like I said, you can dance. You can dance in the clubs in Vegas, but not here.
1st and 10 Saints at the Lights 30, right at the 40 with 10:19 to go. Carroll up 31-3, and there you can see Coach Van Diest. We'll say the words of encouragement to Ryan Boulier.
Yep. I'm sure it was like, Ryan, please don't wait to catch the ball that long. Please don't do those kinds of things.
Well, I wonder if maybe Coach Van Diest said to Ryan Boulier the same thing that the manager said to Willie Mays Hayes in Major League. Nice catch. Don't ever do it again. Paraphrasing, of course. The handoff to Ali right up the middle.
See that?
Up to the 35-yard line. A gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5 with 10:08 to play here in the 4th quarter. Saints up 31-3.
So he was hit at 1 yard, and he's credited for a little over 5 yards on the carry.
Ryan Arnson checks in with the play call. Ball out on the far right hash mark as the Saints move right to left here at Nelson Stadium. And it has turned out to be an absolutely gorgeous day in the Queen City.
It really has, hasn't it?
It was cold this morning, a little wet still. Rain stopped about 9:30 as the handoff to Arnson trying to get outside. Hit, breaks the tackle. He's at the 25 to the 20 and brought down from behind at the 16-yard line. There's the Ryan Arnson we saw all of last year for Helena High. Comes to the sideline. He'll get the play call from Nick Howlett. It's a 1st down for Carroll at the 16. 9:30 to go. Carroll leading 31-3, so the Saints will be 1-0. Northern will fall to 0-3. And this is, you know, it's like playing Hellgate, playing Northern in the Frontier. This is the game you're supposed to win. You go out, you take care of business.
You know, and I don't know if you can. I think they're getting better, Jason.
They absolutely are.
They played Rocky, and you know, there's some.
Arnson takes the handoff. He's across the 15, brought down at the 14, a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Some question marks, you know, really where Northern is, and everybody in the Frontier wants this program to continue to improve. I don't know if it was in danger of collapsing or not, but you know, you don't want to lose any teams. You don't want to lose any of that. So I know Coach Christensen and his staff have been working hard. I hope they continue to work to improve.
Well, and you wonder as the 2nd down and 8 play will come with 8:35 to go. Finish my thought after Ali is hit in the backfield and dumped for a 5-yard loss. But my thought is, you know, Northern played well against Rocky.
Right.
It was Rocky's 2nd game coming off a very disappointing loss to a not good Dickinson State team. And then, you know, Northern put up a lot of points or a lot of numbers. They scored 27 points in a loss to 5th-ranked Tech a week ago. But how much of what's going on today is a mental thing for Northern? Oh, we're going down to Carroll. They've always, you know, we never have won there. It's, you know, it's a lot of mental. As good as Carroll has played, Northern still has to get over that mental hurdle of playing at Nelson Stadium.
Yep, they sure do.
3rd and 13, 7:50 to go. Low snap. Gustafson picks it up. Design draw. He'll cut it back. Gets a block from Barnett to the 15. Tripped up at the 11-yard line. It'll be 4th down, and see if Torgerson comes on for a field goal attempt. He does. 1 for 1 today.
You see the field, how mucky it is right there? That's not.
Well, you can really tell a lot of play happened
Yeah.
down at this end of the field in between the hash marks. You know, Steve Jones and his facilities crew have done a nice job with this field, especially considering there was a soccer game Thursday. The rain stopped briefly for that soccer match to be played as Torgerson's field goal, a 28-yarder, is good. So it's 34-3, Carroll. But, you know, give Steve Jones and his crew a lot of credit. We mentioned the soccer game Thursday, and this field took on a lot of precipitation from Wednesday night to really this morning.
Yeah, what's interesting is when you talk to players that are, most of the field now are turf. They're actual, artificial turf, field turf, they call them whatever. But this time of year, they would much rather prefer to play on natural turf than they would to play on the artificial turf. The artificial turf becomes nice when the field is frozen, but it's just kind of interesting to hear them, talk about that. It's much cooler. Sometimes the advancements aren't that all that great for all the time, but
Carroll scoring drive, 6 plays, 29 yards, 28-yard field goal. Took 3 minutes, 11 seconds off the clock. Saints football back next Saturday. Will be in Ashland, Oregon.
Southern Oregon.
Your favorite place to go. I love Southern Oregon. I lived in Medford for 7 months. It's just north of Ashland. It's a nice field, and speaking of field turf, and
it's a nice area.
A beautiful area. They've been dealing with wildfires just like we have here in Montana. And in fact, SOU and EOU got played. Their first game of the year moved up to Sherwood, just outside Portland. But we'll be in Ashland, Oregon next week.
Shakespeare Festival, big down there. I don't know if you've ever heard
I did
of
not
him,
go,
Jason,
but the Rogue River Valley.
Rogue River Valley. Yeah, it's a beautiful place, and Carroll has not won there since
the last time.
Should have had 3 chances to win.
Well, we've been out there twice, and they should have won both of those games. 38-35 loss in Mac Roach's first start in 2014, and then in 2015.
Touchdown call back.
A field goal missed, an extra point missed, a 2-point conversion missed it in overtime.
Wow.
As Torgerson's kick fielded at the 1. Saints up 34-3, and a lot of juking and jiving that goes nowhere to the 24. But, one thing, we're staying in Ashland this year. We normally stay in Medford, but the team hotel got moved to Ashland, and we're not going to be able to go to our pizza joint next week out there in Medford unless we drive up to Medford after the game, but then we don't, have to drive back then to Ashland.
Well, that's not.
And that's good pizza. I don't remember who it was, but we know where it is.
We know where it is, and we know how to order it, and that's all it's needed.
Wonder if they'll deliver to Ashland. It's about an 11-mile drive.
Yeah, I think it's worth a try. I think we'll just get the number and we'll see, and then we'll, criticize them if they don't.
And we're going to get there early enough to actually have dinner, so we could eat there Friday night before the game.
Well, now you're talking.
Wilson back to pass, throws incomplete, intended for Kamena. But yeah, we could, because you think about it, 2nd down and 10 coming up. I think about this. We've eaten there after Saints games, after Saints losses to Southern Oregon. What if we eat Friday night before the game?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that has, I never thought about that, but that's what's been causing the losses is the pizza.
Back to pass. Wilson throws deep down the field. This one's just airmailed and intercepted. It's going to be picked off by McBride Galt. Tuck cuts it up across the 50 and brought down at the 29-yard line by the tight end Kamena. But McBride Galt with the big interception. There's a flag down, so hang on. Hold on to your horse pants.
Holding.
It will be holding.
It. Nice pick by McBride Galt.
And that looked almost like Gustafson's pick where he missed the receiver so bad, Wilson did, that Galt was almost shocked that it was standing there.
Yeah, yep, for sure.
He's not the best analyst in the Frontier for a reason. I can tell you must have taken a couple of college courses. Second or first and 10 for Carroll to 29 with 6:38 to go. The Lights 29s. Carroll leading 34-3. And you might see a lot more Ryan Arnson here, also known as Ryan Arnson, with Ali Ope over 150 yards. Walsh having a great game. There's a handoff to Arnson. Cuts it up and brought down across the 25. It'll be second down and 5 coming up. You know, there's some great nicknames, too, when you talk about Coach Arnson's kids. It's a great family. Coach Arnson, Helena High coach for 24 seasons now. They got an injury down on the field, but Troy and Ryan. And you know what they go by? T-Roy and Rai.
T-Roy and Rai.
Yeah. Brian
What
Coble,
does Tony go by?
coach or dad.
Oh, okay.
6:17 to play in the ball game. Saints up 34-3. And that might be Arnson on the turf at the 25, slow to get up. It is. Birthday boy Brian Coble out there along with Chris Ward and Hallie, the student trainer. A couple of student trainers. One is Hallie. She's funny. She's from Butte. We got another student trainer by the name of Meg Ryan from Miles City.
Hallie O'Malley?
I don't know
From
what her
Butte?
last name is. Do we know Hallie's last name? Ott? Ha?
Hallie Ha?
Ha. Hallie Ha. All right. So Arnson comes off the field. He'll be checked out. The other trainer, by the way, Jeff Burchell, out with the men's soccer team. Big win yesterday at Walla Walla. Saints men have scored, I think, 23 goals in the last 2 games. 9-0 win yesterday. They're at Multnomah today. Saints women with a big win yesterday. They'll be at home Sunday over presentation as Ali takes the handoff. Gets a gain of 3. It'll be 3rd and 2 with 5:50 to play. Saints up 34-3. Great training staff here at Carroll College. I spent a lot of time in the training room just talking to these guys because they're it's a great group of humans.
That's kind of where you can catch some good conversations, you know, that athletes are
A lot
treating.
of off the record conversations.
A lot of off-the-record conversations in there. That's kind of like
It's like hanging out with coaches and after a game sometimes.
right, you know, at a coffee place, of course.
Yep. Always coffee or tea.
Or milk.
3rd down and 2. Gustafson hands it off to Ali. He's hit and dropped.
Oh.
Wow, that was a great tackle.
Well, that was a statement
59.
right there.
That was Tyler Pallas, the linebacker, 6'1", 210 freshman, Chehalis, Washington. We're under 5 to play. Saints up 34-3. Mentioned it that they'll now go to 1-0, and it's, you know,
See if they bring Torgerson on to kick the field goal. They're fourth and
4th and
4 from the 24.
No, they're going to go for it. Ali going out, Gustafson going back out.
I think Coach Van Dies would prefer to just run the clock out than score, and that's probably what he's going to try and do here.
4:35 to play. 4th and 4 coming up from the 24. Saints lead 34-3. Gustafson fakes the handoff to Ali, runs it himself. He's up to the 19, and it's
short.
very close. He'll be about a half a yard shy, it looks like.
Yeah, this lineman over here on the play side just has it just at the 20.
So
19, he had to get to the
needed to get to the 19 and a half. He did not. So turnover on downs for the Saints. So send the defense back out. And, you know, not to take away. The Saints have played great football today. But again, this is a game that they're supposed to win, and they did it in a fashion they were supposed to do it in. They controlled it from the outset.
Yeah, and they played well in some transition components, and they created turnovers when they needed them. They established the run, something to build on going into Southern Oregon.
34-3 on the Sandy Mac scoreboard. 4:18 to play here at Nelson. And the backup quarterback in. Passes off to Williams, left side. Gain of a couple, and that backup quarterback's name is Bryce Missy. Came in 2 for 3 on the season. 7 yards and a touchdown. Also 1 carry for 13 yards. But Bryce Missy, 6 foot, 200-pound freshman from Spanaway, Washington. You know, this was brought up to me earlier. MSU Northern in Havre with a ton of out-of-state athletes. Not a lot of Montana kids going up to the Great White North.
Haver has it.
Oh, yeah, rode out of town. Handoff stuck at the line of scrimmage. That was Peters. So it'll be 3rd and about 7 coming up with 3:40 on the clock. We'll get to go to Havre this year, October the 28th.
I spent some time in Havre this summer. I had a son that got married
Yes,
up
you
there.
did.
It was wonderful, actually.
Great wedding.
Out
I've
of-
seen the pictures.
Yeah, out at the golf course, and gosh, it was really nice. Great.
3rd down and 6. Missy passes up on top far sideline, and it's incomplete as the one-handed attempt made and no good. So it'll be 4th down and a punt coming up for the Lights with 3:14 to play, trailing 34-3.
Here comes the trapeze artist Bollier out to turn the punt. Uh-oh.
I got an injury. It looks like an ankle over there, far side. 34-3, Carroll in the lead. I can't see the numbers. Saints, last week they had the purple jerseys with white numbers, was easier to read. This time it's the last year's jersey. Okay, so 2 years ago when they switched to Nike, it was purple jersey, black number, and we couldn't see anything. Last year they put gold outline around the numbers, and that is Cole Adams, a junior from Glenwood Springs High School. And then last week they went to the purple with the white numbers, and this week back to the purple with the black numbers, gold trim. Glenwood Springs, by the way, that's where Doc Holliday went his final days.
In the sanitarium.
Yep. Bollier is going to let this one bounce, and he backs away very, very slowly and very, very smartly, and it's down at the 38-yard line. And Carroll will take over. 3:02 to go, leading 34-3. Saints volleyball, a big win last night at home over LC State, now 1-1 in conference play. We had Coach Boyle on the show, the Staggering Ox, the Fighting Saints Sports, so 2 weeks ago. Saints won 2 games. We didn't have her on this Monday. They lost to Tech in the conference opener. I talked to her in her office on Friday morning, and they got the win. So I need to talk to Coach Boyle. She needs to come on the show more.
Right, so obviously we've reversed the karma.
Yeah, from last year.
Yeah, it's flipped, and she has to recognize that. And
Well, she's a good coach. She's a 2-time conference coach of the year. She'll make that adjustment. Hard in motion on 1st and 10 for the Saints. Handoff to Kyle Harrington, redshirt freshman from Butte Central, his first carry of his career. And new quarterback in for Carroll as well. That is Reese Heibel. Heibel, 6'1" redshirt freshman from Star Valley High School in Afton, Wyoming. We've seen him all 3 games.
Interesting, when Carroll has made all their championship runs, there's been some pretty impressive Wyoming kids that have been on those teams. Camino and Caminos.
Fossum in motion, high snap, brought down by Heibel, hands it off to Harrington, who bursts his way across the 45 to the 47-yard line. That's enough for a 1st down for Carroll College.
Well, he just rooted himself through there, didn't he? He looked like a little varmint getting through there.
Well, he's 6 foot, 215 pounds.
You're not a little varmint, then he's a bigger varmint than what we thought from up here.
Coming up on 2 minutes to play, Saints lead 34-3.
Got 2 more plays, and they'll get in victory formation, and they'll get a win. That heals the ills, gets the year started for them. I'm sure the tea and milk will taste better this evening.
Hart sets up behind the tight end, handoff, Harrington up to the 49-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 9 coming up as we hit 90 seconds to play here at Nelson Stadium. Going to send another new guy in. That'll be Henry Hill, 5'9" junior, also from Glenwood Springs.
Henry Hill.
Henry Hill, of course, featured mightily in the original Young Guns movie as a bounty hunter.
Well, and Henry Hill also on Wise Guys.
There you go. Goodfellas.
Goodfellas, yeah.
Hill to the 50, brought down at the 49. We're under a minute to play now. Saints fans
Oh, we're gonna-
start to cheer a little bit. And again, we saw a lot of empty seats the first 2 home games of the year. Weather obviously having a lot to do with that. Last week it was the heat and the mugginess and the smoke. Today, of course, the rain at the beginning of the day and it was chilly. It was 36 when I left my house this morning, and definitely over 50 now. And that sun beating directly down onto the field feels good.
Drove over and watched Deer Lodge play Missoula Loyola in their skating rinks that have more grip than what McDonald Pass had last night. Let me tell you,
Who won?
Missoula Loyola won 44-6.
That was Deer Lodge's second game of the week. They played Monday night and beat Anaconda. Lost Anaconda. Well, that'll do it. As the final 5 seconds tick off the clock, the Saints get their first win of the season. Your final score on the Sandy Max scoreboard: Carroll College 34, MSU Northern 3. Thanks to our fans listening and watching along the Carroll Athletics YouTube site. We'll see you back here in a couple of weeks on that. We'll take a break. We'll come back with a post-game show in a moment. You're listening to Carroll College Football on ESPN Radio.
Garbage is up to go to located on the left side from the Sands and in the center concourse.